He's got confidence, but it's also a bigger class, and a lot more eyes are on this one. Can he rise to the occasion as the nerves truly begin to build here at this Ironman GNCC? Nearly 200 riders on the starting line right now. Over 550 in the 10 o'clock race this morning. Well over 100 youth racers in the 8 o'clock race this morning, putting us somewhere near 850 entries of ATVs alone here today in beautiful Crawfordsville, Indiana. We couldn't ask for better weather conditions. Beautiful sunshiny skies, not a cloud anywhere. It's all blue, my friends. Temperatures in the 60s. We had some rain showers coming into Friday through the overnight hours on Thursday, which basically watered this race course and set it up for perfect race conditions here today. And now it's a waiting game from this point on for us as race fans to find out how it's all going to end. At the beginning of each season, we all dream, we all hope for something exciting to happen. We knew that we had a historical year laid out before us as Chris Borich was working on becoming the all-time wins record holder. He did that when he took win number 69. He stopped at 72. Can he make it win 73 here today? More importantly than that win number 73 today, though, is that he beat Walker Fowler. Neither rider actually has to win the race. All they got to do is beat each other, and that is how we will determine that champion at the end of this race day. As the blue flag is out, shut them down, guys, shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. We are less than 30 seconds away from the historical 20th running of this Ironman GNCC, and I got to ask you race fans, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Come on, Ironman race fans, this is Indiana. This is the Ironman GNCC. I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at the Amsoil Ironman GNCC. $250 up for grabs here in the All Balls, Bearings, and Components Whole Shot Award. And look at this, Adam McGill out of the first turn with a fist to the air, knowing he had this one dialed in. So $250 to Adam McGill. Can he play spoiler today for Chris Borich's 7th win? As we go to the XC2 Pro Am, Cole Richardson leading them out along with Fred Marley, Randy Hamilton, Nathan Walpe, Blake Kramer, James Green, Blank Torrance, Jonathan Bugay, Tommy Kuntz, Eric Lapallo, Shea Dickinson, Matthew Lindell, Jeremy Reeves, Tucker Wyatt, Rylan Johnson, Matt Hanna, Luke Upaw, Martin Christopherson, Jay Humphrey, Luke Shepard, Kenny Schick, Anthony Herring, Michael Lancaster, Michael Palmer, and Marshall Goings, all ready to roll on Ricky Towery's cue. 10 seconds for row number 2, the XC2 Pro Am. Green flag waves, and they're off into the first turn. $100 Twin Air Whole Shot Award, and Cole Richardson grabs the early lead. The big question is, where is Marshall going? So the stage is set right now, it looks like, for Richardson early on as we go down to row number 3 now, our Junior A 22 plus class. Wes Kinsley, Nathan Hornacek, Michael McAvoy, Chuck Norris, Justin Paul, Jacob Bill, Billy Bowman, Robbie Picareri, Brandon Nichols, Austin Parks, Mark Anderson, Jordan Stein, Brad Russell, Adam Upaw, Cole Williamson, Matt King, Jordan Dotson, Doug Harden, and Marcus Clutter ready to roll on Ricky Towery's cue of 10 seconds. And the Junior A 22 plus class is off and rolling. See if we can snag an early leader in this one for you as they round the first turn into the second turn. Now it's the 67 machine of Justin Paul from Oldenburg, Indiana, grabbing the early lead as we go down to the Bet 828 plus class now. Riders like John Glotta, Jason Onchi, Nathan Klein, Thomas Jansky, Corbin Knox, Matthew Lundwall, Wesley Stone, Richard Palmer, Walter Shoemaker, Chris Berry, and Matt Pierce all ready to roll next from this row number 4 as Ricky Towery readies these riders and lets them know it's time to roll in 10 seconds. And the green flag waves on this one. The Vet A 28 plus class off and rolling. And it's the 7:23 I see there, 7:32 maybe, of Chris Berry from Munfordville, Kentucky. Up next, we go to row 5, and this is the College A 16-21. Kevin McCohen, Levi Cohen, Bryson Hobbs, Cole Spurgeon, James Bison, Jared Swartz, Casey Beals, Kellen Alsbaugh, Chance Kellis, and Cody Collier. Welcome to the afternoon, my friend. Last year's number 201 from the morning. Also David Sober, Christian Meyer, Craig Covert, Steve Covert, Dwight Paul, Anthony Herring, and Brett Cover. Ready to roll in less than 10 seconds now as they wait for that green flag to wave. It waves and they're off. College A class housing some of tomorrow's future superstars. They round the first turn now. And we head down to senior A-B 38 plus class coming up next. Aaron Delancey, Leroy Shook, Jeffrey Flynn. We also got Jason Noble, a true racer for sure. David Racer himself is here with us out of Brazil, Indiana. Mike Muscott, Brent Marshall, Jonathan Cook, Brian Foltz, Arthur Blystone, and Jason Smith ready to roll on Ricky Towery's cue as he lets this senior A-B 38 plus class know it's time to go in 10 seconds. Jason Smith, the 800, grabbing the early lead in this one. As we go to the junior B 22 plus class, Travis Margua, Scott Dexter, Brent Harris, also Daniel Patton, Kyle Kaufman, Logan McGurdy, Michael Miles, Keegan Serber, Chase Levy, Dustin Cowan, Chad Ramsey, Aaron Stevens, as well as Jacob Sturgill, Britt Risner, Derek Cox, Robert Mapp. 10 seconds. Adam Bullock, Alan Blavos, Brian LaRue, Simon Bissell, Shane Smith, Derek Murray, Dustin Dickerson, and Thomas Jones off and rolling. Rounding that first turn, see if we can snag an early leader on that one. 382 maybe. Jacob Sturgill from West Harrison, Indiana, grabbing the early lead in this one. Next, the Vet B 30 plus class with the Marlboro Man, my buddy Todd Muscala, Charlie Rogers, Jeremy Flood, Kevin Music, Aaron Smith, Andrew Kapansky, Kenneth Tucker, Jeff Wagner, Travis Foltz, David Nicely, Jason Adams, Jeremy Gouchard, Michael Shelley, Ryan Edmondson, John Hanna, Mark Batson, Matt Graham, Daniel Webb, Zachary Hobbs, Matt Cartwright, Ty Richardson, and Michael Simpson, all ready to roll in this one, the Vet B 30 plus class, in a matter of only 10 seconds. And the Vet B 30 plus class off and rolling. And around the first turn we roll now. See if we can snag a number off of this. How about number 380, quite possibly? That would be Kenneth Tucker from Lebanon, Kentucky, grabbing the early lead in this one. Our final row, 39 riders. Cole Smith, Spencer Modlin, Austin Erb, Christopher Childers, Levi Hightower, Eric Holifield, Ben Feist, Brandon Mons, James Klein, Colton Knapp, also Taylor Zering, Chase Hightower, Andrew Manbeck, Derek Keelman, also Lance Ritchie, Nick Royalty, Austin Kautsky, Joshua Foreman, as well Charles Dawson, Michael Cataldo. We got Randall Ridden, Adam Lewis, Roger Norman, J.D. Brown, as well as Brad Pearson, Tyler Welch, Brandon Eichert, Blaine Martin, Landon Williams, Dustin Burkhammer, Corey Silverthorne, Jonathan Cook, Brian Peters, Anthony Barnes, Bo Cagle, Tyler Wares, Cody Miner, Jeremy Larson, Wyatt Guard. Ready to roll in this College B class now. 39 riders waiting on Ricky Towery's cue. Our maestro up there, the conductor of ceremonies, from this point on throughout the rest of our show today. Ricky getting the all systems go and all things are clear ahead for this next row, and they're ready to roll in 10 seconds. Our final row of the College B, 16 to 21. Green flag up, racers off, and rounding the first turn now as we get them sorted out. Looks like coming out of this one, it is going to be the 403 of Michael Cataldo from Owasso, Oklahoma on a JH Racing Honda of Tulsa back machine in that College B class. And there you have it, folks. The nearly 200 riders here in this afternoon ATV racing program and history rolling through the soils of Indiana right now as we speak. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Well, stick around and find out. We'll be back with more GNCC Live on RacerTV.com right after this.
All right, guys, welcome back to GNCC Live here on RacerTV.com. We're here at the 13th round of the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis, an AMA National Championship. I'm Jen Kenyon, joined here by Fred Andrews. We are ready for an epic battle for this championship. Fred, what do you think is going through these guys' minds right now?
Well, Jen, as it just now started off the starting line, Adam McGill got the whole shot, won a few corners, and then Chad Weenan used his motocross ability and passed him back. So at last sight, Chad was winning this race, and I could not find Walker or Chris Borich in that field to see where they're exactly at. But I think, you know, Jen, it comes down to it's a one-race series right now. The whole year is what it is. It comes down just to today. Both these guys are going to be given everything they got, and they don't have to win is the crazy thing. They just have to beat each other, and it's going to be a great race. I mean, we came here to Crawfordsville. The sun's out, the wind's blowing a little bit, the track couldn't be any better. There's people everywhere. We were in for such a great race and the great weather conditions. It's going to be exciting. You
know, we talk about being here at the Ironman GNCC. We're in our 20th year of GNCC racing here in Crawfordsville, Indiana. And the biggest reason why we've been here for so long, the facility is wonderful. The Shaver family is awesome. This place couldn't be better atmosphere for racing. But the fans here in Indiana, Fred, are by far the greatest.
And they keep on coming and coming and coming. Every year we think, that's it, we've topped out, this is all we're going to get. And the word spreads, whether it's going to the schools, Jen, that we go with you, and the kids are telling their parents they want to come, but every year it's more and more people, and they just love this ATV. They love dirt bike racing here, and it's an honor to come here this long. And the facility itself is getting better every time we come, so it's more camper friendly, and the rain didn't come, so man, it's just an awesome day.
Yeah, you know, talk about people. The 10 a.m. race today had so many people, more people than I've ever seen at a 10 a.m. race at the start. It's insane.
Yeah, like I heard they had double row starting.
Yeah.
So
550 riders or something, 500 plus riders out there in the 10 a.m. race.
You know, and I think that shows that GNCC does a great job of what they do. They lay out a good track. Everybody likes this facility because of the dirt and going through the creeks, and people like to watch people go through the water and splash around. They like to watch them climb the hills, so everybody just comes. Everybody wants to ride. You know, they probably come here and watch, and they're like, you know what, I can do that. I want to race. I got a quad. Let's go do it. And that's the great thing. There's a class for everybody, from a little bike to a utility. So there's something for everyone, and we're glad everybody comes out and rides. And I'm excited to see how this is turning out right now, and I think
Adam McGill looks like he's in the lead. We've got our second place runner, might be Kevin Yoho on the number 5 machine. And there's Walker Fowler in the 3rd place spot. We're looking, and there is Chris Borich. So it looks like our 2 championship contenders are both inside, the top 6 right now?
You know, Jen, you saw right there, Walker Fowler actually went left, and everybody else is going right. So you know, there's 2 lanes to go there, and he thought while those guys are going maybe bunched up, that maybe he could get around them. But, you know, this track does have a lot of different lines, so I don't think passing is going to be an issue. And along with the motocross track now, that it's being so wide, I think these guys are going to have a lot more opportunities to pass. But I think it's going to come down to the hills, really. You know, the hills are going to get bad after a while, and it's if you get there at the right time, if you can make that hill and get it clean, and maybe you can put some distance on somebody.
Okay, Fred, so let's talk about this course that they have out here. We've been coming to Ironman for, like we said, 20 years. So the course is, you know, a big part of it has stayed the same. We do have some different things, as you can see on our RacerTV.com screen, the Ironman motocross track. This is a new feature. We did have a little bit of the track last year, but this is the full-blown track that we're seeing this year. What you see now on the RacerTV.com screen is where all the action goes down. Fred, talk about this course that these guys are going to be racing today.
You know, this course has a little bit of everything, Jen. You know, it's got the nice big fields where you can go fast and kind of rest, and it's got the woods, and the woods are a combination of, it's got roots, it's got rocks, and then we get to throw in a couple creek crossings that we have, and then you got these 2 uphills. There's this uphill here, which is right by the starting line, and then there's one down by the bridge, and there's an easy way around it, and then there's the hard hill, you know, which the riders need to go up. And most of the pro guys and probably are going to go for their hard hill, because you know that's where you make your time on the next guy, and it always has an easier way where you can go around if you need it. But the hills are where it's going to be exciting, because we can, you know, the 4-wheeler guys, they can make it all day long, but it takes one guy to get hung up there, and then you're committed to going up, and then all of a sudden there's a quad sitting there, so you kind of got to make a different adjustment and hopefully get out of the way. And with all these people on the hills, Jen, it's unbelievable. When I first came here 20 years ago, this hill you could go up it anywhere you want, you know, and now there's so many people there now that, you know, there's only certain ways you can go now, so they're almost like funneling you into the main line where it's harder to get off that and make things happen.
So if you're a fan out there, you might be funneling these guys into the best line, or the line you think would help them the most. But do you think there's some fans out there that are like, hey, I kind of want to see some action. Let's send these guys a different way and see what happens?
Yeah, you know, there's going to be fans like that too. But I think the greatest thing about fans are they like to see people struggle and maybe have a problem, but they're going to jump in there and help you. They're not going to let you flip your quad down if they can help it. They're going to jump in there and hold on to you and help you, or point you through a mud hole. You know, they don't want to see you get stuck, but they will surely help you if you do. And it's all about fun. You know, like these people here, they're just waiting in, and man, I cannot believe how the hillside's just full of people.
Yeah, you know, we're going to start seeing later on, I'm sure, the human chain where 5, 10, 15 people will be in a line holding hands, all using each other's strength to pull an ATV up a hill or down a hill, wherever they're going. And that is some of the most incredible spectating I think you could ever do at a race.
Yeah, you know, and then the rider too, the rider themselves, they gets to a point where, okay, I'm not going to make this hill, and you start looking at people and you start yelling, help me, help me, help me, and they grab you and they start pulling you up, and they're having as much fun as you are.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, once you start feeling yourself fall backwards, you just know there's going to be a swarm of people helping you back up. That's pretty awesome, and that's another thing that's just so special about this Ironman GNCC. Of course, we're here at round 13 of the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series. This is the season finale. We do have 2 epic championship battles taking place right now. We have the XC1 battle, Walker Fowler, Chris Borich. They're going to go head-to-head, but we also have our XC2 Pro Am battle between Cole Richardson and Marshall Goings. But first, we're going to send you guys over to a little thing we like to call GNCC 101. We get to see a little bit of everything that GNCC has to offer.
Folks, the hardest thing about racing is learning to go fast. But we're going to get you up to speed quickly with everything you need to know about Grand National Cross Country Racing with GNCC 101. By definition, Grand National Cross Country Racing is a cross-country style motorsports race. We race ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides here, and depending on the event schedule, you'll see 6 to 7 races on a given weekend. Some feature riders as young as age 4, and there's even classes for riders over the age of 60. GNCC racers come from all 50 states, as well as numerous countries from around the world, because this is the prestigious championship they're all chasing. Every GNCC race starts with the dead engine start, which means the engines are turned off until the starter waves the green flag. Each rider lines up on the designated row of his or her class, and with the wave of the green, the race is on. From there, the strategy's simple. Get to the finish line as fast as you can. The racetrack is actually designated not by established trail, but by race arrows. And with some exceptions, the riders must stay within 25 feet of the arrows all the way around the track. The riders don't get to practice or pre-run the course before the race either. They're essentially learning it while they're racing and following the arrows. However, riders can walk the track at designated times prior to their race day. A GNCC racetrack includes just about everything, including trails, footpaths, roads, hills, motocross tracks, any terrain that you can navigate with a dirt bike, an ATV, or a side-by-side. You can expect to see a little bit of everything on a given race weekend. The tracks are typically between 9 and 12 miles long for the afternoon race, and a little bit shorter for the youth, amateur, and side-by-side races. If you're watching the racing and you're trying to pick out the fastest riders, the XC1 or Pro level racers are going to be running red number plate backgrounds with white numbers on them, And the XC2 Pro Lights riders will be running green number plates with white numbers. The points leader in each class will have their number plate colors reversed. Flags are key here too. The green flag, of course, signals the start of the race. A yellow flag signals caution. The 2-lap board means there's 2 laps remaining, and the white flag signals 1 lap to go. The checkered flag signals the race is over, but you already knew that. Riders are scored electronically when they cross the finish line via a transponder mounted on their bike. Then the overall position and times are adjusted according to the row in which each racer started on. Once the race is over, we invite the top 3 finishers in both pro classes to be interviewed on the Maxxis Victory Lane podium, and the top riders in every class are awarded trophies. So now you're close to being a certified expert on GNCC racing. But if you want to learn more, check out the series website at GNCCRacing.com. Or do it the new way and just follow the series on the following social media sites. They'll tell you everything you need to know. After that, we'll see you at the races, and we'll talk to you about it in person.
Welcome back here to the Ironman GNCC. Rodney Tomlin now along with Fred Andrews. And Fred, what a big day we've got in store for us here today. I know that we've seen a great start. We've seen the action kind of start to build now as we're 22 minutes and 7 seconds into this race. But nonetheless, man, I mean, a big crowd here, a huge crowd on hand. We've got huge numbers as far as riders. And I had so many people telling me this has got to be a record. This has got to be a record. We've never seen this many people in here at the Ironman. And we've had some huge Ironmans in the past.
Yeah, Rodney, I think if the weather has a lot to do with it. The sun's shining, it's a beautiful day, and there's more people coming out to see this. And you're right, Rodney. I walked around a little bit today, and I could not believe how many people are here. I mean, the cornfield across the street is totally packed. Everywhere you look is groups of people, and everybody's got their pink on for breast awareness going on this weekend. And there's just people going everywhere, to the mud holes, to the hill climbs, and even at the vendors are really a lot of people going to see them. So it's a nice day, and we're glad to see everybody couldn't make it out.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, as we check some of the wood sections and so forth, it is amazing to me just how beautiful day we've got. If we look back 3 weeks ago in Ohio, when we were looking at rain and sleet and all the craziness that was going on there, and we come here to beautiful sunshiny skies, and we've got also blue skies and temperatures in the 60s like this. I mean, it's a complete turnaround. We had Ironman weather 3 weeks ago, and this week we've got St. Clairsville weather, I think.
Yeah, Rodney, it's definitely a great change. And I was hoping being the last race of the year, last few years it's been so muddy, they've had to pull all the campers and stuff in with the tractors and stuff, and I was hoping we'd have a nice, good event, and it's all come to that. You know, they've planted a lot of grass out here, so everybody's got nice grass to walk around in. You can park your camper in the grass this year, and it's just such a nice event. Like I said earlier, it's every year this place gets nicer and nicer and nicer. It's almost like a big giant campground now. You know, got nice grass, you got roads going everywhere, and it's a really a fun place to come to.
It most certainly is. I did a drive around the facility, obviously with the new Ironman motocross course. I can't quite see what's going on there. Our camera's pretty dark there. It looks like we're on one of our hill climb sections over there. But Walker Fowler now. Fowler leading out front now as we've got a change in the lead from the reports that we're getting, Fred, and Borich is now in the number 2 spot, and the battle that we were looking for and hoping to get to see is starting to come to fruition.
Yeah, Rodney, for sure. Those two guys know what they have to do, and it's not going to be over till that checkered flag flies, that's for sure. You know, the race is going to be won. I believe that these guys are going to be tooth and nail, and in the pit. I think the pit's going to be a crucial thing because Walker's going to want to lead this race like he has from the past, and Chris knows that when Walker's out front, he's really, really dangerous. So Chris is not going to let that happen. Chris is going to get as close as he can to him and either try to get around him. He's not going to wait. Today's not the day to let the Borich last lap pass happen. No. He's going to get in the front, and he's going to let it come to him.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. And, you know, amazingly, Chris Borich has already throughout his career captured 6 wins here at the Ironman GNCC. He is the rider with the most wins. I always say, I know it isn't a word, but the winningest rider in history here, not only in GNCC history period, but also here at the Ironman GNCC in particular as well. So Chris, you know, he's pretty comfortable out there, and that's one thing that I noted in the early interviews that we were having with Chris and Walker and the rest of the guys is how calm, cool, and collected Chris is. I've seen Chris under more stress and pressure at round 6 with the points lead being 15 points and it getting closer and him not liking it. I've seen him have more stress on his shoulders, it seems like, than what he did here today coming into this basically showdown with Walker Fowler.
Yeah, right. I think that has a lot to do with the confidence. Like you said, he's won here so many times. He's really confident. He knows a good setup. He knows how his bike works, and confidence has a lot to do with it. And I think that's really why he's not really worried about it. It's going to happen. What's going to happen is going to happen. But he knows that he's won here a lot, and he's going to let it come to him. And I think he's going to be the one to show us. He's had some bad luck, and he's just going to try to make things happen here today.
For sure, and right now we are about 26 minutes into this race now, Fred. I'm not sure exactly. I know we're a little over 12 miles in length, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a pretty good long racetrack, especially for the ATV guys. But I think it's a fitting racetrack for this kind of a showdown. And Fred, I know the last time that this happened, we keep talking about 1993. That was the year that you won your motorcycle championship, the year that you became a part of our GNCC Racing Nation. And I mean, a lot of things have changed since that day, huh?
Yeah, Ron. It sure has changed a lot. Before if you had a box van, you were the coolest guy here. You pulled in with your box van and you had to spot. Well, now it's big haulers. We got semis. Everybody's got big trailers, and professionalism is a million times better than what we had it then. Everybody has got their uniforms on. All the bikes look really nice, and the tracks themselves have gotten a little bit faster and a little bit wider. But man, the numbers. Before you had 9 or 10 guys in the pro class, and now, or 200 bikes for the whole day. Now we've got, thousands of bikes coming to the races and thousands of quads, and it's just so cool.
We almost had that in the morning in the youth race this morning. Over 100 there in the morning youth race. Some nearly over 550 in the 10 o'clock start this morning, and I did the math. Over 2,000 wheels were rolling around this facility at one time, believe it or not, with the ATVs earlier this morning. Pretty amazing fact. And speaking of an amazing fact, here comes Walker Fowler around through the pro pits now. We'll see him coming straight at the RacerTV.com Race Day Studios. Fowler out front. There is Chris Borich, and Borich is not far behind. And look at that, Fred. Even after the Thursday night, Friday morning rains, we're starting to see dust develop here. I don't think it's going to be much of a factor as far as this day is concerned, but we can see that it is drier here, and track conditions were probably about perfect, I think, for GNCC.
Oh, for sure, right. I say the track cannot get any better. Some of the wood sections are probably even still have moisture in them. There's going to be some mud in some of the trails. Out here in the open, we're going to have a little bit of dust just because the sun's shining and the wind's blowing, but with the wind blowing like it is right now, it's just going to blow the dust off the track, and you can see the grass. These guys are just ripping up this nice grass they planted here.
Oh, I know. This place looks like a freshly mown golf course. The lawn was just looking great, and it's amazing these soybean fields and everything and cornfields have been changed into parking areas. There's roadways going through there now. This is a full-on race facility as well as farm. A lot of the farmland has been turned into campground and parking areas for the races. Not only the GNCC race, but you may have heard us mention, and if you follow racing at all, you know that the Ironman GNCC and the Shaver family property is actually home to the Ironman motocross track, the newest race facility on the Outdoor Pro Motocross National Championship Tour. And we had the inaugural race back in August here, believe it or not. One of the muddiest races in recent history, I think, as far as motocross was concerned. But I was watching that and I was thinking maybe it'll get it out of its system and it'll be nice for the Ironman GNCC. And look here, man, it did.
Yeah, they definitely got the Ironman weather for that race. The motocross is usually how we are here, Rodney. As you know, usually we get all that rain and we get all that misery. Well, right now we've got the perfect day. We've got the perfect race going on right now. The guys in the championship are 1 and 2, and they're going to
there
be
they
fighting
go.
it tooth and
Big
nail.
of 1 and 2. There went 1 and 2 right there. That was Fowler and Borich going up. I believe that's Twin Hills, right?
Yeah, that's Twin Hills. And I see like Adam McGill. He's going to let me get away from
No.
him. He says, hey, I'm here to race too, boys. I'm right on your tail, and all 3 of us are going to battle.
Exactly. You know, the amazing thing is, had it not been for the DNF in, I guess it would have been Unadilla, actually, I don't think that Adam McGill would have been too far out of the running as far as this championship. He would have been mathematically possible for him to be a factor in this championship today had he not had that one bad race. But unfortunately did, so he's just out doing what he can, and that's have fun. And that's the great thing about it, Adam McGill approaching it in that manner. And actually, in talking with both Walker and Chris today, I think that's exactly the way that they're trying to approach it also. They're trying to keep that all out of their head, all the business of it out of their head. But, you know, that was during the race day interviews. I got to wonder what was the difference once they put their helmet on today.
Yeah, Rodney, right now, the last thing those guys are worried about is the nerves and all that stuff. They're on their bike. They're comfortable with what they're doing. They're racing their quad, so they're just letting things come to them just like it's any other day. I don't think the nerves are at all. Of course, nerves before the race, they probably had a lot, but right now, they're on their bike. They're comfortable. They like what they're doing, and they're just racing.
At the finish line now, here come your leaders. Walker Fowler leading this one 30 minutes 53 seconds, 30 minutes 55 seconds, which puts Chris Borich just a hair over 2 seconds behind Walker Fowler on the time gap. Adam McGill another 3.7 seconds back in the number 3 position. As you said, Fred, not letting these riders get out of his sight any whatsoever. As we got more jockeying for position coming toward the finish line right now in the Amsoil chicanes and those final turns, man. Those banners right there can be such a welcome sight for some of these riders sometimes.
Yeah, right. And I think after today, at the end of this 2-hour race, when they see these banners, they're going to say, wow, it's finally over. I'm so happy I'm at the finish, because this track does definitely get rough, Rodney. You know, even though the soil looks like it's hard out here where these guys are sliding around in the woods, it's still holding the moisture out there. So we're still going to get those big kicking bumps. There's a lot of rocks, a lot of roots, and even going through them cricks, you know, sometimes you have to go through them cricks. There's rocks underneath them. You're hitting the wheels, so you're actually fighting there too.
Oh, update, Fred Andrews. As we take a look at this, this doesn't have a bearing on the championship, so to speak, between Walker Fowler and Chris Borich, but guess what's going on in our overall on adjusted time right now? With 30 minutes and 44.5 seconds, Marshall Goings, XC2 Pro Am rider, who is tied right now for the championship in that class, not only leads the class, but on adjusted time, leads the overall now by some almost about 9 seconds, I believe, is what we would be saying there. So Goings getting off like a mad dash out there. This man is on a mission, it looks like.
You know, and I don't think Goings even had the start. I believe Richardson had the start,
right, yeah,
too,
Cole got the
so
start in that one, and Cole's running back in 4th place overall. He's behind Chris Borich on adjusted time, who is 3rd place now.
So Marshall made things happen out there in the woods somewhere. Maybe he took a better line on uphill or not, and he's going to the front.
11.8 seconds between Goings and Richardson, and that's the difference between 1st and 4th overall right now. Fowler and Borich running 2nd and 3rd overall, but again, they're 2 different classes, and the overall, yeah, it means a lot as far as the overall points are concerned and so forth, but right now, the way the championship points break down, it's a matter of how they finish between Walker Fowler and Chris Borich. And same thing between Marshall Goings and also the 4th place ride of Cole Richardson. So some pretty amazing things going on there. They'll give you a breakdown on how it's shaken down the top 10 here after the first lap. This is overall. Goings, Walker, Borich, Richardson, Adam McGill back in 5th. Chris Bithell runs 6th. 7th, Jared McClure. Bryson Neal is 8th. Chad Weenan, the AMA Pro ATV motocross champion, 3 times over, visiting his first ever woods race. Not his first GNCC, but the first time he's ever raced in the woods. Now, he said he grew up riding in the woods, never raced one. Got together with his sponsors, man. They built him a GNCC bike, and here he is out here right now running in the 9th place position. It is Landon Wolf running in 10th place in the overall. As we look at the class-by-class breakdown, Fowler and Borich leading. McGill is 3rd, Bithell 4th, McClure is 5th, Bryson Neal 6th, Weenan is 7th in the class. 8th place Landon Wolf, 9th place Jay Shadron, and Brent Sturdivant rounds out your top 10. In the XC2 Pro Am class, so far what we've seen, only 6 riders checking in from this class. Marshall Goings leading 11.8 over Cole Richardson. Martin Christopherson, one of our big Winoa riders out of Richfield, New York, running in the number 3 spot aboard the 564, making a name for himself here in the 2014 Amsoil GNCC season. 373, Tucker Wyatt out of Green Valley, Missouri, running at 4th. Rylan Johnson, 374, would then be your number 5 ride out of Rector, Arkansas. Then in 6th place, Nathan Walpe aboard the 23 from Greensburg, right here in Indiana. Waterford, Ohio, home to Blake Tornes, the number 30, who runs 7th. The 47, Tommy Kuntz out of Fayetteville, Pennsylvania, running in 8th. Michael Lancaster out of Gasaway, West Virginia, is 9th. Fred Marley, the number 17 from Osgood, Indiana, rounds out your top 10 in that XC2 Pro Am class. And if I'm looking right, I think, isn't Blake Tornes, didn't he just move up? I think he was College A before this round, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but Blake has been a major player as far as the overall top amateur overall on several different occasions so far this week. Taking a look at some of the racetrack out here at the Ironman GNCC. And Fred, you were talking about the diverse soil and how it can break down and how it can ultimately give you a very rough and rugged racetrack, and how the wood sections and so forth are rather moist and they get rougher and rougher. Well, look at this. Line choice is going to be at an all-time minimum this year as well, because look at the number of people that is. This is Twin Hills. This isn't the big hill. This isn't the one where we see thousands of people standing by at. We'll get some footage from that later on. That's the Ironman hill. This is Twin Hills, and you can see the number of spectators that are here right now with us. And that being said, that means that line choice, I would imagine, will probably be limited for those guys, and it'll be a little tougher for them to traverse the terrain here. And speaking of terrain, it is very different. And right there is some of that terrain. I think we're looking at some previous footage, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Walker Fowler in the lead, then there's Adam McGill in third, and these guys are starting to put a pull away from fourth place right now, Rodney. And you can see, look at that dirt right now. There's a lot of moisture in there.
Oh, mile marker 1, okay.
And all those tree roots there, and these guys are going to have to work. You know, it's not going to be an easy ride. It's not going to be an easy day in the park. These guys are really going after it.
Yep, you go from the hills to these tight tree sections to the open field sections. There's creek sections. There's rocky creek sections. It's amazing the differences that this racetrack is able to provide for the racers that come here. Probably one of the more perfect facilities for GNCC racing, with a little bit of everything added in, if you have my opinion.
Yeah, Rodney, you can see like this line they're taking right now. That line just opened up from the first lap, which is nice on the quad, because sometimes on the quad you don't have so many line choices. You have to follow the leader. But here, somebody's actually made a new line going through the center of it, which is, you know, totally legal. They're inside the arrows and all that, so that just gives you another option to pass.
Back out here at Twin Hills again.
And the people, like you said here, Rodney, you know, you're kind of limited on where you can go now. It's like you said, they're like funneling you into the direction you can go. If somebody gets stuck on the hill, well, you know, you kind of have to pick a whole different line. You can't really shoot off to the side and go, because there's so many people there now.
For sure. 1 mile marker is where we just saw our leaders go through just a moment ago in the XC1 Pro class. And I know coming into this one, we had a chance to talk with both Chris Borich and Walker Fowler, and again, it just amazes me at just exactly how calm, cool, and collected both these riders happen to be into this one. But at the same time, I think the XC2 Pro Am guys that have never been in a situation you would think like this are fielding it the same way, except the funny thing is the battle that we have in the XC2 class for the Pro Am championship is the same championship battle we saw only a year ago in the College A class, again between Cole and Marshall. Now Marshall got the go-ahead and won there at Ironman last year and won the College A class. He is hoping to be able to afford those same luxuries here again today, and right now the way things are looking, he's leading the overall, so if he keeps it at this pace, there's a pretty good chance that Cole Richardson is going to have a tough time catching up with Marshall.
Yeah, sure looks like Marshall came here for one thing, Rodney. He came to do what he did last year. You know, he won last year, so his confidence is good, and he wants to do the same thing. He wants to get there out in the front. He's going to run as hard as he can, and Cole's either going to have to catch up to him, or, you know, Marshall's going to get away. And I'm sure that Cole's not going to let that happen, so Cole's going to probably be regrouping or even seeing guys ahead of him and trying to catch them to pull himself forward to catch Marshall.
Well, you see all the pink around here, Fred. It's everywhere, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month is what we celebrate here in the GNCC Racing Nation, and it's become a tradition here at the Ironman GNCC to be our pink race. And with it being a tradition, a lot of other things have come into being a part of this as well, like local organizations, such as a organization right here in the Montgomery County area of Crawfordsville, and that is called Faith Alliance. We actually had a chance to catch up with the organizer and director of that.
Faith Alliance is a nonprofit organization to support breast cancer awareness in Montgomery County. It was started in 2004 by myself and my friend Debbie Chavatello in honor of both of our mothers who were both affected by breast cancer. Well, Lori Shaver is one of our board members, and obviously the Ironman is on the Shaver property here in Crawfordsville. And if several years ago, I'm not sure whose idea it was to turn the Ironman pink, but it was a wonderful idea, and we offered to help and to be here and help raise awareness and help talk about Faith Alliance and some of the other organizations that are supported. It's a fun event every year. There's nowhere else that you can probably go and see guys in rider boots and pink tutus at the same time. So I think everybody has a good time with turning the event pink, but it's also a serious message too in raising awareness about breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it's a great time to encourage your wife, mother, girlfriend, aunt, grandmother to get her mammogram and make sure that she's taking care of her health.
Filled him up with fuel and off he went.
Well, there you have it right now into the finish line region. Some of our amateur classes. That rider that just checked in, Anthony Barnes out of Paw Paw, West Virginia, along with Richard Palmer also checking in a moment ago out of Oakwood, Illinois.
You know, as we're watching the motocross track here, Rodney, it's an amazing thing how this started out. We said, you know, we did this, we've been here for 20 years, and I never thought we'd see a motocross track in this facility. You know, it was always woods, and it's just grown and grown, and now we've got the beautiful motocross track for these guys to go on. Plus, we still got all the hills and all the creeks and stuff to go on, and just the number of people here is just unbelievable. Every year it just gets... You know, usually we're used to seeing all this mud fest going on here, and everybody's all dirty. You can't pick out who's who, but, you know, now that it's nice out, we can see everybody.
Check 1, 2.
Some more of our crazy fans from the Husky pits going by. You know, that's a neat thing, too. Right now, Jen, the motorcycle guys are out there on the track, walking the track for tomorrow's race. They're seeing the four-wheeler guys. They're rooting the four-wheeler guys on. It's just a great camaraderie between the four-wheeler guys and the motorcycle guys now.
Yeah, you know, to be honest, I've never seen such a close, like you said, camaraderie between the ATV guys and the motorcycle guys as I have this season. There's a lot of the pro guys especially that they are cheering for each other. A lot of the ATV guys stick around for Sunday. They want to see what's going on, especially with the intense championship battle that we have going on right now. Everybody's interested. Everybody wants to know how this is going to shake down, and it's just fun to watch the racing in general. So it's cool to see those guys so excited about, you know, the other disciplines and just really getting into it.
Yeah, too, Jen. And I also think you can see how hard these four-wheeler guys actually work. You know, they're just not out here on a Sunday ride cruising around. These guys put the time in the gym. They work at it all week long, just like a job, just like the motorcycle guys do. And, you know, that's the respect they have for each other now. They know they both work hard at it, and they enjoy watching each other. You can see on the motocross track here, we got a little bit of dust kicking up here. But, you know, it's like I said earlier, it's just because the sun's out, the wind's blowing, and luckily the wind's blowing some of that dust off. Man, it sure looks like they're having some fun out there on that motocross track, Rodney. You know, they've got nice terrain, ups and downs, and gradual big sweepers.
Yeah, and that is a pretty great racetrack, no doubt about it. We didn't get to see its full potential, I don't think, during the Outdoor Motocross National earlier this year, but nonetheless, we get a chance. Actually, we got a chance to debut parts of it last year, and we get a chance to ride on some of it again here in the Ironman GNCC this year. But yeah, a lot of great jumps, good turns. I mean, just I'm sure a motocross racer's dream. It was designed specifically for exactly what it is, great championship racing. Back out in the wood sections now. We are at mile marker, I believe this would be the 4.5, if I'm not mistaken. Should be waiting on our leaders coming this way here.
Rodney asked our leaders just went
by.
Okay.
As
you can see, Walker Fowler was still in the lead. Chris Borich was a couple seconds behind him. Then about 5 more seconds back was Adam McGill. And these
that
guys
was McGill. Okay, I saw that last rider going through out of the screen there. It's old school, man. I'm not used to using this TV screen all the time. It's hard to watch it all the time.
Yeah, you know, Rodney, as you can see, too, the leaves are on the ground now, so these guys got to be a little bit more careful if they are going to pick a new line.
Yes.
Because you never know what's underneath those leaves.
That would be our 4th place ride, I believe, checking in there quite possibly. Nope, that's his now Jared McClure. He was running in 5th. Don't know if he's gotten around Bithell or not for that 4th place position, but it looks like things are starting to open up quite a bit behind that that trio of riders up front between Fowler, Borich, and McGill right now. They're on lap 2, 49 minutes now into this race, Fred, and here comes now. Lighting is not working out with my eyes. There's Goings. That's Goings. He's, wow, right there. He's still
going.
He's going. He is. There's no doubt about it. Right now, Marshall Goings is, well, last check was our overall leader on time adjustments. And as we're watching, there goes Cole Richardson, who's 2nd place. I think he was behind, I believe, Bryson Neal or maybe Chris Bithell there. But regardless, there's a couple of riders in between them now, physically and on time adjustments out there on this racetrack. So things are really starting to get exciting, I think, in that XC2 Pro Am battle. If you're a Marshall Goings fan, and if you're an Indiana race fan yourself, you're going to be pulling for him, I would think. So there's got to be a lot of excited people out there for the battle in the XC2 Pro Am class right now.
Yeah, Ron, you can see the track looks perfect there in the woods. You know, we've just got enough cover left on the woods with the leaves up, just hold the moisture into the track there.
It does. It does hold the moisture in the track, and you brought up a very good point there a few moments ago about line choices and alternate lines and making new lines and so forth with the cover of the leaves on the ground. I mean, you've been in situations like this. How do you race these kind of races, Fred?
Well, on a quad, I'm not sure it's as important as it is on a motorcycle, but sometimes a log is laying crooked and you can't see it. And with these leaves on top of it, you're going to go into it, and then the log's crooked, and it's going to take your front end to the right, and you're thinking you're going to be going straight. So you would lose the front end and crash. With the quads, there's probably not such a big issue on that, but still, you never know. There could be that one rock, or there could be that one stump sticking up that when you do go through there could hit your tire rod or take your front wheel and turn it out on a four-wheeler. So there's still some dangers out there, and it's kind of cool seeing the leaves on the track at first when you go around there, because it actually is like it's almost like ice sometimes, Rodney. The leaves are on there, and it makes it real slippery.
Yeah, that to me is pretty amazing how that all works out, to be honest with you. How slick it can, and it does, like ice, and sometimes maybe in some cases maybe even slicker than ice, and more surprising than ice, because at least most of the time you can recognize there's ice out there, and here you don't even recognize how slick it actually is. Back out in the wood section here as we continue to roll along, 52 minutes into this race. Fowler still leading Borich, and also Adam McGill 1, 2, and 3. Goings leading Richardson, who is also ahead of 3rd place rider Marty Christofferson, who is a minute now, 59.3 seconds back behind Richardson in the number 3 spot. So we'll call it a full minute basically back to there. So amazing to me just what kind of level these guys have reached here late in the season, and what kind of level it has lifted both Goings and Richardson up to. Now, we've seen Cole on many different occasions leading the overall top 3 or top 4, and finished even 4th place overall on more than one occasion. But Marshall's not one rider that we've seen do that a whole lot, so it's kind of a surprise, and you couldn't ask for a better time for it to come to fruition for him than here today in his home track in the final race of the year for that championship.
Yeah, right. I think the championship's on the line. You know, he's dug extra. You know, he's dug deeper than normal maybe, and he's just having a good day. He won here before. He likes it, and this is it. Their whole season comes down to this race. You know, they worked hard all year, and usually, you know, it's, oh, you got some points here and there. You can kind of be careful, but there is no being careful today. It's it. You have to go for everything you got. Today is the day.
It is the day, and we're watching it all unfold, and we're watching these riders seize this day, if you will, as we are working on lap number 2, 53 minutes, 35 seconds. Fred, pointing out also once again here today, as far as lap times and so forth go, you know, a lot of times this year, and traditionally in GNCC, we see ATV lap times anywhere from 21 to 27 minutes starts to get to be a long lap time, and once we hit the 30 minutes for these ATV riders, it just seems like it goes forever and ever. But we're over 30 minutes again this week, so another long racetrack. And again, I think that comes into the fact that organizers not really knowing what to expect as far as turnout, weather conditions, and so forth. They can always shorten it if it gets muddy, but they can't lengthen it if it gets too dusty and hard for people to see. So I think they put that little extra time in there just in case it was a dusty race this weekend, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, you know, and Rodney, too, they're fortunate now they can go underneath the bridge, so they got another piece of property they can go on to even make it longer. And like you said, the longer race, if it is dusty, it's a lot nicer for the riders. And you know what? Right now, they're going to be out there for longer than normal, so this is really a true test to show you who is a true champion. It
most certainly will be a test of championship caliber here today as we continue to roll along. Our leaders are due in about 7.5 minutes, Fred, and that's pretty exciting. I think that we're going to be pretty shocked with how intense that battle continues and remains to be. Back over here at Ironman Hill now. We're at Ironman Hill, and look at the crowd.
There's Ken Hill.
There's Ken Hill on Ironman Hill. Look at the crowd around there, my friends. They are stacked in there deep, and that is just a small fraction. Those are the ones that have made it on the other side of the white fence, it looks like. But look down there. Look at the thousands of people that are lined up behind that bridge over there and behind those. Amazing. There's Walker Fowler going through, and there is Chris Borich. There is also Adam McGill, 1, 2, and 3. No changes there for these guys, it doesn't look like. So
and this TV's not doing that hill any justice, Rodney.
No,
that
it's
hill
not.
is steep. It makes it look like it's nothing, but that is a steep, steep hill.
I've raced one time, Fred, myself, when I raced a utility ATV back in 2005, and I can remember coming out of that creek and the crowd going, "Go, go, go!" And I looked up and I was like, "No, no, no!" And I probably would have done it and would have chanced it, but the night before, Dean Van Leeuwen, who is like our sponsor coordinator here, but actually he wasn't even working for the series then, but was working with another company, had gone out to that hill and said, "Whatever you do, man, when you go to that hill, don't go up it, go all the way to the left." So I went all the way to the left, and I think it was actually harder to get up than probably going straight up. But that is a very steep hill, and if you don't make it, man, do you know it. I mean, it's not like you make a little mistake and say, "Uh-oh, oops, I kind of messed up there." You make a little mistake, it turns into a monumental mistake with pieces flying off your quad and everything else. Into the pits now as Chris Borich rolls in. He's going to get a quick splash of gas now. And I believe I would have to think that probably Walker would have done the same thing. But again, remember how Walker's been. Wait a minute, is that Borich in before Walker Fowler? Do we have a change?
Hey guys, this is Jen. I'm going to chime in. Walker Fowler was the first guy in the pits. He came in very quickly. He left, and then Chris Borich in second, and Adam McGill just took off in third.
Oh, thank you. I must have missed Walker going in. Again, I need to pay a little more attention, I guess, to this television monitor. But nonetheless, Fred, so it looks like maybe things are stretching out a little bit if that's the case, because it didn't seem to be as tight as what we saw only a little while ago, about halfway through this lap.
You know, Rodney, what I noticed there was when Chris Borich came into the pits, his dad Joe was just standing there calm and cool. The guy had the goggles. Chris pulled the cap. They put the gas in. Chris was in absolutely no hurry. You know, he just took his time. They put the goggles on him. He put the cap back on. He just didn't even, he wasn't panicked at all. And, you know, that shows you that he's comfortable out there. And I'm not sure how Walker Fowler's pit went, but I'm sure it was the same way. I think both these guys are comfortable with what they're doing. They both probably had a good pit stop, and off they went.
Most definitely, and the stage continues and remains to be set in this one today as we continue to roll here in the Ironman GNCC, the 20th running of this classic itself. 58 minutes now into this race. Here's what we're waiting on. Jen Kenyon down in the pits.
Hey guys, I'm under here in the Wienen Motorsports ATV Motocross National Champion pits. They are getting ready to do their first ever pit stop with the Motocross Champ, so we want to head over here and check out. We're a little bit nervous, but he's doing really well, so we're going to see how it goes for him.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. Who's down there? Did I see Mike Walsh and those guys down there earlier? Who's helping him?
Oh yeah, Mike Walsh is actually running the fuel can. You'll see him with this IMS tank. He's ready and waiting. The other crew members, they've got the goggles, they've got the gloves, they're ready to go.
Well, that's great. One great thing about it, Mike Walsh is no stranger to ATV racing, so it might be a little bit of an advantage to Chad Wienen coming into this one, but he's doing quite well. Last time around, he checked in, I think it was 7th place in class. He checks in this time. Well, he hasn't checked in for a second lap, I guess, yet, but running 7th place in the XC1 Pro class, I guess is the way we should say it. Now, looking at this Twin Hills, Fred, this hill, it looks steeper on camera than what we saw of Ironman Hill there just a few moments ago. And again, I think it has a lot to do with the actual camera placement and the way the camera is laid out there and so forth. But there he is. There is Chad Wienen on the Wienen Motorsports machine.
Now there's something you don't actually see Rodney and a lot of our guys do. I actually thought he was going to change some gloves.
I did too, but he's hit some mud out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, you're crossing a lot of creeks out there. There's definitely some water flying up, and you know, those guys did an excellent job.
Yeah.
They got him in, gave him gas, put goggles on, out he went, you know, and that's probably, at a motocross, these guys don't get to interact like that. You know, they give them the pit board, and they can always say stuff, but here you can actually yell at your guy. You better get going faster or something.
Here we go into the finish line. Is this a mano-a-mano battle? It sure is. Chris Borich is pulled up on the rear wheels of Walker Fowler now. The 2-lap board is out, and look at this. We have got ourselves set for a barn burner. Somebody's playing with matches again, Fred Andrews, as the barn is about to catch on fire, I believe. Better call that fire department, sound it out. It's a 4-alarm fire, maybe a 7-alarm fire whenever it's all said and done in this one.
Yeah, Rodney, that 2-lap board is out. It's time. Take the gloves off. We're bare knuckles. These boys are going at it.
Wow, and now it is nose to tail battling. These are the types of battles that we saw and witnessed earlier in the year. We have seen amazing finishes between Chris and Walker over the course of not only this year, but the last couple of years, but this year in particular, and the stage is set. We could not have written this any better. This could not be following script any better if we had written it than what it is right now, because this is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see these guys out front. We wanted to see these guys battling it out themselves, amongst themselves, and that's exactly what we're about ready to look at. And Fred, we had a chance leading into the weekend to talk to both these riders.
As the 2014 season began, everyone knew that the GNCC history books were about to be rewritten as Chris Borich was poised to break and set a new all-time wins record. Little did we know that history had more in store for the championship battle. As the wave of the record-breaking win began to subside, a whole new challenge arose, and it came in the form of Walker Fowler. And it appears that the all-time wins record may come easier than the 6th championship for the 5-time champ.
Yeah, a lot of things have been going through my mind. I've been working really hard these last 3 weeks. Been on the bike pretty much every day. I'm missed 2 days of riding, but been putting the time in, putting the hard work in. So it's just little luck, and all I can do is go out there and do what I do. Just been putting the same effort into the bike as we always do, just making sure everything's bulletproof and just getting her dialed in.
It's you know, it's literally a whoever beats who wins situation. I would say for a couple days I think I thought about it like that, but you know, really I just went back to what I've been doing and what's been winning races for me, and that's just having fun and you know, going out, and when I'm training, I'm just enjoying myself. We've been a little overkill, but I think that's you know, that's always a good thing, and it's needed in these must-win situations. My mechanic, Mark Notman, he did a phenomenal job on the machine, and literally, other than the bottom end and the frame, basically every part on the machine is brand new, or you know, has fresh bearings, has been
There you go. That's the mindset of both those guys coming into this one. Jeff Pickens, Big Papa P, into the pits on his Waynesburg Yamaha. Don't know what's going on there. Probably a regular pit stop there. Maybe a few extra adjustments on top of that. But regardless, he's off and rolling back into this one. Big Papa P, by the way, is running, well, at last check, was running in the, wow, he's dropped all the way back to 15th. So he had a lot to work on, it looks like. But Fowler, Borich, McGill, McClure, and Neal, your top 5. Chris Bithell in 6th, Kevin Yoho in 7th, Brian Wolf in 8th, Jay Chadron in 9th, and Johnny Gallagher rounds out your top 10. And Chad Weenan back in 11th place position right now in the XC1 class. As far as the XC2 Pro Am class, Richardson and Marshall Goings have both checked in. Here's the big news. Newsflash, my friends. No longer does Marshall Goings lead the overall at the time. Actually, neither does he lead the XC2 Pro Am class, as Cole Richardson has made the pass here and moved into the #1 spot of the XC2 Pro Am class. There was only 3 seconds that separated the two when they came around a few moments ago. There was about a 15-second difference in their lap times, Fred, and I got to think that maybe that's the difference of a pit stop. Did possibly Goings pit and Cole Richardson not?
Man, Ronnie, it'd be a hard thing to press the issue here at the last race of the year for your whole championship to not gas. I'm not sure if Walker or Fowler did gas that time, but man, they've already been out there for an hour, so can they go an hour and a half? You know, it's a long way to stretch it, but I'm sure they've done the homework if they did go. You know, they know how far they can go on fuel mileage, and 15 seconds, yeah, that's about a pit stop, Rodney. You're right. So
maybe
interesting to see.
Maybe he was trying to do what we've seen Walker do in the past, get that extra cushion and do the run and gun there for a few moments, and then when he comes in the pit, have enough cushion to maintain the lead once they get gassed up and continue to roll. Back out here at Twin Hills now as we watch. These aren't our leaders, but we're watching on the RacerTV. I'm just utterly amazed at how well this race is going. You know, a lot of times on these particular hills we see a lot of carnage, yeah, and mayhem. And today, man, I mean, it seems like everybody has everything dialed in. And again, it's probably hinging a lot on just the fact that the track conditions are so perfect.
Yeah, for sure, Rodney. I think without all the mud and all the extra wetness out there, getting all that heavy weight on the bike or hitting rocks that are slippery and stuff, the track is actually perfect condition. And this is the kind of the way that we want the championship to be decided anyways, Rodney. You know, we didn't want the track to take somebody out and somebody gets stuck in a big mud hole. Yeah, that's part of racing, but we like to see head-to-head competition. You know, I want to see these guys like they're doing right now. They're battling right now head-to-head, and the track's not going to decide who's going to win. They are.
Exactly. And I know that both those riders have put their work in. Chris Borich telling me that he trained leading into this race the last 3 weeks. He trained as if he was going into the opening season, part of the season. He's trained as hard as he ever has in his life, and he wants to try to maintain that #1 plate. And right now he sits in great position to make that happen, because as we've also noted so many times in the past, Chris in his last lap charge and pass, again, you know, you're of the mindset, and I'm of the mindset, I don't think that's the right game to play. But if we think about it, that's how Chris always won in the past. But the past is not the same as what the present is now, because Walker Fowler's a whole different beast than what he's had to deal with in the past.
Yeah, right now, and I think another big difference is right now is that Chris is right on Walker, where normally Walker's got 15, 20, 30 seconds on him, and Chris is trying to play catch-up. Well, right now, Chris is right on Walker, so he knows what he has to do, and that's what he wanted to do. I'm sure he wanted to stay right with him, and I think he's going to make the pass way before the last lap. You know, the 2-lap board's coming out now, and I think that's when he's gonna, if he can pass him, he's gonna pass him, and he's just gonna try to run. Yeah,
and we'll be watching for that one. And right now we are an hour and 7 minutes, well, nearly an hour and 7 minutes into this race. Leaders due in about 21 minutes for lap 3 complete and a white flag. It's hard to believe how quickly things are just seeming to roll away right now, Fred. Exciting coming into this one, to say the least, to know that we had these kinds of situations and scenarios developing. And I think that the turnout here this weekend, I think we can attribute a lot of that to the weather, but at the same time, I think it's this championship that's taking place, this battle in this ATV class that is waging right now.
Yeah, Ronnie, for sure. I think there's a lot of people that came to see who is going to be the champion this year. You know, we got 2 classes that are going to be decided. And if you would have told us that at the beginning of the year, I'm thinking there's just no way that they're going to decide a championship at the last race.
No, I mean, it hadn't been done in over 20 years, Fred. Who was to actually think that it would happen? I mean, we start each championship season with our speculations, our hopes, and what we desire to take place and to happen. And oftentimes it's just fluff, you know, especially from the media's hype, you know. I mean, you look at it and you say, all right, Chris Borich is going to have another season. Walker's going to be tougher this year, but I don't think he's got a chance for a championship run. And then all of a sudden it happens, and then, wow, here we are. So nobody expected this one, but we always can hope for it. And I know somebody that's hoping that Chris Borich is going to be able to capture his 6th championship and his 7th Ironman GNCC win is Paul Browley from over at Amsoil. And I know that Amsoil, first in synthetics, title sponsor and everything here at the GNCC. And Paul, welcome to the Amsoil Ironman GNCC and to this championship final tight that we got going on with your rider out there on the number 1.
Yeah, man, this is exciting. This is an awesome race. It's an awesome day here. It's fun to be here.
It most certainly is. Now, talk a little bit about Amsoil. What's your purpose of being here? Are you just here to watch the races this weekend or what?
I wish that was the case. We sponsor Chris Borich, who's obviously in this amazing battle right now, and then we have a booth going on here. And this is a great test for our oil. I mean, it's a long race, and we've got to get through the whole thing, so it's great testament.
It is a great testament to the oils and things that Amsoil has to offer. And I know with that, you guys have got a lot of cool things. You got a display here on Vendors Row. You've got an opportunity to win that the EBR 1190 RX machine, Merit Real Racing. Be giving that away, what, in December, I believe? Early December, late November?
Mid-November.
Mid-November. Okay, so get signed up. The cool thing about that is, for those folks that are watching at home, Paul, they can play along in that one as well. They can actually sign up to win, right?
Yeah, you can go online and sign up online as well. Otherwise, get to any event that we're doing the contest at and sign up there.
All right, sounds good. And, of course, with Amsoil being first in synthetics and everything, what's maybe some of the latest news from Amsoil?
Not a whole lot on the news front right now. Will be some exciting big things are coming up in the next couple of months, and then again next year. And so we're always working, and we're always coming up with new things.
I guess how can you improve on perfection, right?
There's always room for improvement, and there's always room to get better. And
so you guys aren't just resting on your morals as being first in synthetics, and you got.
It's always working, and it's always coming up with something better and more specific.
Now I'm at home. I'm watching this. I don't know an Amsoil dealer or distributor. I can't get to the racetrack to get my product. How can I get Amsoil product?
You can go right on the Amsoil website and purchase right from online. Otherwise, you can search for the local dealer on there and find the dealer closest to you.
And that's really easy to do. Amsoil.com, right?
Amsoil.com.
And you guys got a Facebook page also?
We do. Amsoilinc.com or at Facebook.
And, all right, sounds good. And anything that you want to pass along to the race fans and the racers out there?
Man, you're in for a treat. It's a great battle right now.
All righty. Thanks a lot, Paul, for coming by, and thanks for Amsoil being a big part of this. We certainly appreciate that. And, Fred, I tell you, man, to see the big sponsors come out, it's a title sponsor, not only of the series, but title sponsor of our defending GNCC champion and one of our battlers for the championship right now. That goes to show you how much this means in the world of racing.
I think it shows, Ron, it shows the average customer how much they care.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a title sponsor. Yeah, they could have just given GNCC money and said, okay, here's the money to do it. But no, they care about their oil. They care about the customer. They're here to say, hey, if you guys have a problem with something or you want something, we're here to help. And we support you not only in supporting the series and making the series better, but you as an individual at the racetrack.
I don't mean to keep harping on this. I talked about it a lot at the beginning of the season, but I started using the Amsoil product. I bought a used vehicle and I cleaned it all out, got all the flushes and everything. Started putting Amsoil product. I had a vehicle with 160,000 miles on it whenever I put this oil in it. Was using about 2 quarts of oil per trip, a quart there and a quart back home. And I still use some oil, and the folks at Amsoil tell me that they can't say that it's going to fix your engine, but they say it does help sometimes. And I went from using, say, 2 quarts on a there and back trip to using maybe a quarter of a quart. I go 4 or 5 trips, long trips, before I even think about checking my oil anymore, because that's how well that Amsoil has revitalized my engine. That's for sure. Back out here on the racetrack now. We got an hour and 12 minutes or so into this one, and we are are certainly anticipating some excitement as far as this championship finale finish is concerned, because all the things that we'd hoped for are coming to fruition, and we've seen these guys going nose to tail like this before in the past. Actually, if you recall, and Walker even alluded to it earlier this morning, the unfortunate incident that took place at Masontown, West Virginia, with one of the most exciting GNCC finishes that has ever taken place. And I mean, that's the kind of battles that we've seen right down to the wire on more than one occasion. As there they are now. What mile marker are we at, guys? I think we saw the leader zipping through there just a moment ago, Fred. That was the 5.5 mile marker those guys are burning through right there. So that puts them near the halfway point of this, and that should be bringing us close to our Mid-State Chevy Midway report, where we'll be taking a look at all of our classes in the top 5 rundown to give you an idea how it's all breaking down. Now, we'll give you and, of course, we'll take a look at that Midway report in just a moment. Just want to remind you, folks, we had Paul in here just a moment ago talking about the great Amsoil product. Don't forget, you can get on board with that, like he said, and you can a chance to win the EBR 1190 machine, the RX, the Eric Gill racing machine, and also at the same time, I would say your opportunity to get not only involved in the Building Legends sweepstake, but to get some of the best product there is on the market. The first in synthetics. They don't say that for just any old reason. They say it because they mean it, and they are. They were not only the first company, but they are the leader as far as synthetic technology is concerned. From the biggest to the smallest of applications, on-road, off-road, whether it be in your generator, your hauler, your ATV, your motorcycle, whatever, Amsoil has got a product for you. Your car, your sewing machine at home that might need a little bit of machine oil or something like that. They've got an oil. I'm telling you, anything that needs a lubricant application, they've got it for you there from Amsoil. The first in synthetics, as we are now an hour and 15 minutes, or working on an hour and 15 minutes into this race now. Now let's take a look at our Mid-State Chevy Midway report, brought to you by our good friends at Mid-State Chevrolet. You can find them out and check them out at midstatechevy.com on the World Wide Web, where they stack them deep and sell them cheap. XC1 class, as we take a look at this, it is Walker Fowler leading Chris Borich at last check, with Adam McGill in 3rd, Jared McClure in 4th, Bryson Neal in 5th, Chris Bithell with 6th, Kevin Yoho in 7th, Brian Wolf in 8th, 9th was Jay Shadron, Johnny Gallagher, Johnny GNCC himself in 10th, and the visiting champion, just got to throw this in there, Chad Weenan running in the number 11 spot. So that's got to be making Thomas Brown feel a little bit better at this moment. The XC2 Pro Am class, as a former teammate of him, they were talking about this race coming into this one. Thomas raced a couple of years ago. I know Fred has no idea what I'm talking about. But Thomas is part of that Weenan, was a part of that Weenan Motorsports class group, and he finished 56th overall, hoping for Chad to finish 57th if he can't win, he said. But the XC2 Pro Am class, Cole Richardson, Marshall Goings, we've seen the big change there. 3 seconds separating those two, as we're now down, or actually up to 2 minutes and 32 seconds separating 2nd to 3rd. Marty Christopherson back there. Rylan Johnson running 4th, Tucker Wyatt in 5th, Nathan Walpe in 6th, in 7th, Blake Tornes, 8th is Fred Marley, 9th, Randy Hamilton, Matt Hanna rounds out your top 10. College A, check this out, 201 from last year. He was riding the morning class up until Ohio. The morning class winner, he was also a youth overall champion, and makes his way into the College A class. They wanted to go Pro-Am class, but they said, we need to see that you can ride up there first. So they made him, well, he elected to use the College A class to make that transition and see where he was at. And look at this. He has got a lead by 1 minute and 7 seconds over 2nd place, Greg Cover. So do you think the boy might be ready for XC2 Pro-Am? I think in Florida, Cody Collier's going to have no problem signing up for XC2 Pro-Am when it comes around, my friends. Covert running in 2nd here. Chance Kellison running in the number 3 spot. Brett Cover is 4th. Bryson Hops rounds out your top 5. Junior A 22 plus class. Braden Nichols is leading Wes Kinsley in 2nd. Robbie Picker Rary running in the number 3 spot. Doug Harden and 4 Chuck Norris rounding out the top 5. That A class, Matt Pierce, Corbin Knox, Chris Berry, Wes Stone, Walt Shoemaker, your top 5. In the senior AB class, Brian Foltz leading Jeffrey Flynn by 2:03. Aaron Delancey running back in the number 3 spot. Arthur Blystone is 4th. Leroy Shook rounds out the top 5. College B class, J.D. Brown leading Brandon Eichard by 16 seconds now, with the Anthony Barnes running in 3rd. Charlie Dawson in the number 4 spot. Michael Cataldo, who got the whole shot in that class, actually drops to the number 5 spot here at about the midway point. Corey Silverthorne running in 6th. Tyler Wares is 7th. Cody Miner in 8th. Eric Hollifield is 9th, and Randall Ryden is 10th. By the way, that is after 1 lap complete for the College B class. They were the very last class to start today off of row whatever it was. I think it was like row 15 or whatever. But anyway, Junior B class coming up next. Simon Bissell, the only rider to check in with 2. He got around Chad Ramsey, who was leading after 1, so some changes there. So it's Simon Bissell followed by Chad Ramsey at the moment, unofficially right now. Dustin Dickerson in 3rd. 4th is Dustin Cowan. Rounding out the top 5, Alan Blavos. Vet B class, Mark Batson, who, if memory serves me correct, out of LaSalle, Michigan, one of our Media All-Stars riders out there. We talked so much about those guys this year and their transition from ATV motocross to the GNCC. Looks like they're doing pretty good. Ty Richardson, the 8011 out of Slatook, Oklahoma, running in 2nd. And Jeremy Gouchard is 3rd. Tard Muscala running in the number 4 spot. And Daniel Webb rounds out the top 5. And that is a look at your Mid-State Chevy Midway report, to be sure and stop down and see them right there off of I-79 in the heart of West Virginia. In Flatwoods, West Virginia. You can also find them on the World Wide Web at midstatechevy.com.
You know, Rodney, while you were doing that update on all the positions people were in, Chris Borich and Walker Fowler came through on the screen here, and they were still nose to tail. With Walker Fowler being in the lead, Chris Borich is right behind him, and then Adam McGill is actually about 8 or 9 seconds behind, so he's dropped to 2nd, which is nothing, but the 3 in the front are still really going after it, and they're close. You know, Walker's not getting away from Chris Borich at all, but Chris Borich really hasn't made a pass yet, and I expected the 2-lap board kind of to be where it was going to happen.
Yeah, this looks like old school stuff there to me, if you want to know the truth, what we've seen in the early part of the year with Chris Borich. You know, these guys are just absolutely spectacular role models for guys like this right here that we go to school visits. We see there Rick Proctor was a part of that. Johnny Gallagher was a part of that. We've seen a couple of bike guys and gals there. There's Johnny
Sarah
G right.
Baldwin and Ashley Copeland were there also, and there's Nick Davis. You know, it's a cool thing to go to the school, and the kids really have a lot of fun right now. I went to both those yesterday. The kids interact really well. They want to race to put the gear on, but the main thing we're telling them is to help each other out. You know, don't bully, don't pick on kids. If you see somebody having trouble, go over and say, hey, what can I help you with? You know, 'cause that's important to help people when they're down.
And amazingly, you know, a lot of these guys that probably race GNCC have been in those situations where they've been bullied, so they are good role models to be able to go because they're different than the most people back home. An ATV or motorcycle off-road racer has a totally different mindset and mentality. Their life is totally different, and they may be looked upon a little differently, but they are great role models for those kids that may feel out of place themselves. So I think it's great just to see the GNCC able to go out in the communities like that whenever we have those opportunities.
Yeah, you know, Jen does a great job with that. Jen sets the whole thing up. We go there, and she's got it all set up, and it is a lot of fun. And I think the kids really enjoy it, and we look forward to doing some more next year for sure.
Most definitely. And, of course, leaders due in about 7 minutes, and we'll be keeping an eye on that finish line region there, Fred, and we'll take a quick break and be back with more of this championship showdown from the Ironman GNCC here on GNCC Live right after this. And welcome back to GNCC Live on RacerTV.com. Rodney Tomlin along with Fred Andrews and Jenny on the spot, Jen Kenyon, who is, I've been going from one side of this racetrack to the other, just trying to get the story, but really the only story is right now, I think, Fred, is that we've got a heck of a championship battle going on out there right now with Walker Fowler and Chris Borich, and also back there in the number 2 and, excuse me, the XC2 spot, class, I should say, with Cole Richardson and Marshall Goings. Marty Christopherson back there in the number 3 spot of that class. Rylan Johnson is 4th. He's out of Arkansas. Good to have him out here. Tucker Wyatt out of Green Valley, Missouri rounds out your top 5 in that XC2 Pro Am class. But here's what I was pointing out. 3 seconds between first and second. 2 minutes and 33 seconds back to third place. Another 30 seconds back to fourth from third, and only 6 seconds there for Tucker Wyatt. Oh, excuse me, no, that was Tucker Wyatt. Only had 6 seconds over Nathan Walpe. What's going on there? I believe Nathan may be having some problems in this XC2 Pro Am class, but getting it sorted out. Looks like he might be a man on a mission to the front of the pack. Leaders due in, by the way, in about 3.5 minutes, Fred Andrews. We saw the nose-to-tail battle. We know what we've seen in the past as far as Chris Borich's talent is concerned. We just got to wonder what we can expect to see, like right here at Ironman Hill.
Chris Borich has made the pass. Nope.
No.
Walker is ahead of him still.
Just barely ahead of him there at Ironman Hill, and there is that the 520?
McGill.
Yep, 521 of McGill. Just want to make sure he changes the look of his bike from race to race. It's hard to keep up with who he is actually sometimes, but there you can see, and again, the camera angle just not doing any justice to what this has offered. The race fans going wild down there.
And you know, you can see, Rodney, the fans are there to help you. They want to see everybody climb the hill, but there is a way you can go around it if you can't make it. And you know, and the roots. See, the roots in the quad aren't so bad right now. How it kind of kicks the bike sideways, but on a motorcycle, them roots tomorrow are really going to be a big deal to everybody. And Rodney, I think Jen went down to the pits.
Yeah.
To kind of get the mood of what the pit crews are thinking right now.
Exactly. Jen, are you with us?
Yeah, guys, I'm down here in the VP Racing Fuels Pro Row. I was talking with some of the teams. I talked with the Borich camp. I talked with the Fowler camp. And it's a very interesting, aura going down here. Earlier when we came into this race, it seemed like the Fowler pit was very, very excited. They were anxious. They wanted to go. The Borich pit was a little bit more quiet, but now we're seeing the opposite. You talk to the Borich guys, and they're like, we're ready to go. We've got this championship. We're going. But then you go over to the Fowler pit, and they're just a little bit more nervous. They're a little bit more apprehensive, even though they've got that lead right now. So I think there's just a bunch of mixed emotions going on. They're not sure what to think. We're not sure what to think, but we know that this thing's going to come down to the last lap. So we can't wait to see how it comes.
No doubt, and not only mixed emotions, but just emotions that are probably just going crazy right now because you don't know what to feel. The excitement of it all, the pressure of it all. What do you do? And I think Walker Fowler's pit crew's probably keying in on something that we keyed in on, is that right there sits Chris Borich as they get ready to wrap up this lap right here of racing, and the white flag, and what we've known, and the patented last lap pass and move by Chris Borich. We haven't seen in quite some time, but maybe he's ready to bring the patent stamp back out on that one today and show us a new twist to it.
Well, I think Walker's Fowler pit crew is a little bit nervous because Walker's been able to get some time on Chris Borich and get a lead, and everybody's more comfortable when you have a lead, 15, 20 seconds. Well, Chris Borich isn't letting that happen today. He knows what he has to do. He is still sitting right there behind Walker Fowler, and if, you know, like you said, now Walker's got to think, oh, is he going to give me the patented Chris Borich pass on the last lap? You know, I'm riding as hard as I can. I've gotten away from him in the past and put some time on him, and I've been able to relax. Well, now there is no relaxing going on here, Rodney. Chris is just waiting to pounce on him, so he's definitely going to come down to the last lap.
He's been in this situation so many times before with Chris Borich on his rear wheel, only to come up a little bit short, and this is probably the biggest, heaviest weighing race that he's ever been in against Chris Borich, where he can't afford to have that happen if he wants to come out with a championship. But the great thing about it is, regardless of what happens, I think Walker will come out of this one with a big smile on his face.
Oh, yeah, you know, Walker's going to give it 100% no matter what. You know, and Chris Borich may just be sitting behind him, Rodney, too. Just, you know, this is Walker's first shot at winning the XC1 championship.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just sitting back there and hoping that he can make him nervous just by following him around.
Yep.
You know, he's done it in the past, and he's passed Walker the last lap, and Walker's been able to get by.
There's Walker Fowler right now making his way through the Amsoil alley into the chicanes, and I was going to say, where is Chris Borich, but is that him back there coming through now? I believe behind him. He's got some lap traffic between him, but nothing really to worry about. Only a handful of seconds still. So we can still call this a nose-to-tail battle, or bumper-to-grab bar battle, as the white flag comes out on this one. Technically 2.3 seconds separating the two. It was 7 seconds back to Adam McGill as they exit the Amsoil alleyway now and head back out onto lap number 4 and the final lap of the Amsoil Ironman GNCC here for this ATV Championship Showdown.
Yeah, Ronnie, right now, I mean, you just wonder what's really going through their head right now. Walker's like, man, I've led the whole thing so far. I can't let him pass me. You know, where do I think my strong points are? Where's my weak points? My strong points, Walker's going to go as fast as he can. And the weak points, you know, that's where he's going to just try to get through there the best that he can. Right, and then you got Chris Borich thinking, okay, this is it. I got to go. It's all or nothing right now.
Wow. I mean, this is one of those races. It's an all or nothing type race. I mean, you've got to make it happen if you're going to win the championship. And
when Walker's out there too, Rodney, not to interrupt you, but you know, Walker knows where Chris is kind of catching him. He can hear him catching him in certain spots. So now Walker's going to go into that spot, looking for maybe a different line, or looking to see where Chris might be trying to pass him.
Right.
So I mean,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's
Chris
a lot of thinking
Borich
going on right now.
Chris Borich has got the advantage as we roll into this RacerX last lap here today, Fred Andrews. I think that he, you know, he's been in that position. He knows how to pass, and he's got experience over Walker Fowler. It's the inexperience that may be the actual spoiler for Walker at this point with the nerves and so forth. But again, we got to look back over the course of this 3 years. How many times have we seen Walker Fowler in this position? And every time he says, I'm not wanting this to happen. Pre-race interviews, I don't want to let Chris make that last lap pass like he has in so many races before. So maybe, you know, maybe he is rising to the occasion. Maybe he has found that secret combination. Maybe the dawning of a new day is happening here in GNCC while we watch it unfold.
Well, that too, and Walker knows this is it. No matter what, he's got to ride the wheels off that thing this last lap, and he can't let that happen. So, like you said, Rodney, you know, he's definitely matured over the year. Walker's got better at it, and he's matured. So, you know, Chris being there may not even may not even bother him at all. He may just be doing what he's doing. Keep on doing what he's doing. He's won races, and that's what he's going to stick with.
Yeah, but I know it's kind of like one of those recurring nightmares, I'm quite sure, for Walker Fowler at this point. I wonder how many times he dreamed this scenario. Well, you know, watching these guys ride, it just brings back so many memories. Right here is where it happened for Walker Fowler when he made his ATV racing debut in GNCC. He was a two-wheel rider. And here at the Ironman, I don't know, I guess it was, what, around 07, 08, maybe. I'm not sure exactly what year it was exactly, but we had a race here for youth ATV riders just to see how it all pan out. Walker Fowler was a part of that, and he ended up winning that. And it wasn't long before Walker had to make a decision whether two wheels or four wheels. He chose the four, and we can see where that path has led him to now. And you know, there's a lot of other riders out there that are in the process of doing the same thing. And we actually watched a newly crowned champion be able to put the explanation point on the season as Brandon Fraser took yet another youth overall win today.
All right, Brandon, so you got the 2014 championship wrapped up. Now you have the season finale win. How's it feeling?
Feeling great. I mean, the track was so fast. I mean, the 125s, I mean, they were going pretty good too. But those two strokes, me and Cameron Navy were just flying out there.
Yeah, talk about the battles. You got a good hole shot, but it seems like you guys had some exciting racing going on out there.
Yeah, first lap I was just running, pasting, and then second lap, for some reason, a tree said, "Hi, how you doing?" And just crashes me, and then I flip, and Cameron Navy passes me, and then I get back to him, and then I catch up to him, and we race from there. And then third lap, I think I pull away from him, so it's a pretty good race.
You came out with the win here in 2014. It's been a solid season. Congratulations for you, Brandon.
Thank you.
And welcome back here to Crawfordsville, Indiana for history, my friends, in GNCC racing as we celebrate the 20th running of the Ironman GNCC. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And don't forget, you can also pick up an opportunity to win some Amsoil product, about $250 in that. Just tweet your podium predictions to hashtag them GNCCLive. Don't have to be right, just got to have the hashtag GNCCLive, and we'll give $250 in Amsoil product away to someone here in just a few moments. Right now, an hour and 36 minutes into this race, 21 minutes before we see the conclusion of this race, or expect to see the conclusion of this race, Fred. That is an hour, or 2 hours, and about 6-7 minute race. So we are once again over that 2-hour mark.
Yeah, right now, you know, with the track being a little bit longer like that, I think that's a good thing. You know, it's nice to have it a little bit longer than a little shorter, and these guys have been working really hard. So, I don't think the extra time is going to affect them at all. Right now, these guys are just out there tooth and nail, battling really hard, and they've got a lot of stuff going through their head right now, Rodney. I think Chris Borich is really – I expect the next picture to see Chris right on his bumper.
I agree with you. And speaking of a lot, I think that Jen has got a lot of information that she's going to pass along. Actually, I'm getting the word she's got something little she wants to tell us. Jen, what's going on, hon?
Yeah, you know, guys, I just noticed there over in the pro pits, Jeff Pickens is currently down in the pits. They're working on something on his back end. He's got a screwdriver. Everybody else has got a few tools back there. So it looks like he's trying to fix some sort of problem and get himself back out there. So anybody that's watching at home, that's what's going on with Jeff right now.
Tough break for him, and that is a real bummer for sure. Jeff's wife, Tracy, who is a former, I think, 9-time women's champ, WXC champ, retired a few years ago, is now, she actually raced out there this morning, so hopefully they weren't using the same bike and she wore that thing out on him. I don't think that's the case at all. XC2 Pro Am, that championship battle now. Let's focus a little bit on that one right now. Cole Richardson leading 1 minute and 21 seconds over Marshall Goings now.
There they go, Rodney. Look at it. They are tooth and nail. They're going every which direction but straight right now.
What mile marker was that again? 4 mile marker. 4 mile marker right there as we've seen him. And it's exactly what you expected to see there, Fred. And still, Chris hasn't made that pass. And you can see the track crew is going around right now in search of great vantage points to watch this race. I just saw Barry Hawk going by there as he was trying to position himself to pick them up on another area of the race course to keep an eye out on this one. And, you know, funny, it's been so exciting we haven't even had a chance to talk with Barry or anything today, but I know that Barry is excited about this championship battle because he hasn't seen anything like this exciting in GNCC ATV racing since he did it 21 years ago, and he may be thinking, you know, are we watching the dawning of a new era like we did whenever I did this, you know, and that's, I think, all the excitement for everybody out there. You know, what is going to happen, and if if Walker does beat Chris, then what does that mean for 2015? You know, how intensely is that going to make things for the championship battle next year?
You know, right now, I don't think either one of these two guys, Walker or Chris, can work any harder at what they're doing. These guys are doing everything they can do to be physically fit. They've got their bikes ready. I mean, a little bit of luck is what separated them this year. You know, one guy had good luck here, one guy had good luck there, but next year, they're both going to come out with the gloves off again. It's going to be this race all over again, every race next year.
Can we live through 13 rounds of racing like that? I don't know. I think we could because, man, we've seen it a lot already earlier this year, that's for sure. And I'm hoping to see it a lot more in the future as well. An hour and 39 minutes into this one now. Rodney Tomlin, Fred Andrews, Jen Kenyon giving you the call from Crawfordsville, Indiana, here on RacerTV.com, GNCCLive. And don't forget to hashtag those tweets, your podium predictions. Don't have to be right, just got to hashtag them GNCCLive for your chance to win $250 in Amsoil product. I am watching and waiting. There's a lot of things going through my mind right now. I mean, I think I'm as excited as anybody else is here right now with not knowing what is about to take place here.
Yeah, Ron, I was just going to say the same thing. People are starting to filter over our way now that maybe have been at the hill because the twin hills, they've already gone up, so they're kind of filtering over our way. It looks like going towards the finish line, going towards the pro pits. And the last photo that we had to go through where Chris Borich and Walker Fowler were really going at it tooth and nail, trying to pass different lines. I noticed that it was a good maybe 20 seconds, maybe till McGill came through. So it seems like those two have stepped it up a little bit because this is it for them. They got to make it happen, and they're starting to pull a little bit of gap on out of McGill.
Well, we see that beautiful grassy straightway there now getting a little chewed up and a little dusty and tattered and torn, but it won't be long. It'll be right back to its glorious luster that we seen starting the race earlier today as the track crew will be going out and well, reclaiming this entire 12.5-mile race course and then some, because there's alternate lines out there. Actually, there's so many lines, they probably, when it's all said and done, probably reclaim in a 12.5-mile race course, probably closer to 18 or 20 miles.
Yeah, Rodney, too, and Mother Nature does a great job of reclaiming. You know, we won't ride here for another year, and it rains, and it just fills the holes in, and she takes good care of her land.
She does, most definitely. And right now we're watching the in the Amsoil Alley out there. The heated battle where we expect to see these guys coming in tooth and nail like we've seen so many times, and hoping to see again here today. So we can see that the XC2 Pro Am class, the battle there, I think, is pretty much subsided. It looks like Richardson may be on his way to claiming that championship unless something happens to him here in this last lap. Walker Fowler, though, will it be a duo of championships in the XC1 and XC2 Pro Am class? The Pro and Pro Am classes, because both these guys ride Yamahas. They're both riding for Am Pro Yamaha. They're teammates, and how often do you get to see teammates win the Premier and the Sub-Premier classes like that?
Wow, Ronnie, that would definitely be a feat, and that would show you that the Yamaha guys have really done their homework this year with the Am Pro team, and there'll be a big party over there. I think we should head on over.
I think so too. We're not gonna have a lot of time between right after this race, because we got this going on. Right after this, Polaris is having a it's an exhibition race. They got this new thing called the Polaris Ace. It's an ace race. There's like 13 media guys going to be racing out here. And then at 4:30, we've got the UTV Championship to decide. The side-by-sides, Kyle Cheney, can he capture the first Can-Am Championship in side-by-side racing? Or will John Yoakley pull a rabbit out of his hat and capture that championship himself, who is the nephew of the defending champion, who doesn't hold a candle to winning the championship at this point, I don't think, William Yoakley. But Yoakley will be out there to win those race, to try and win this race, to put that explanation point on the season nonetheless. But we got a big day still to go after the championship celebrations get underway, so hold my spot over there if you would, man.
Well, you know what, Rodney, I was just thinking, can you imagine them giving you the new Ace and saying, okay, just go out and race. You're a media guy, so it's not yours. And they're saying, right. I want to know what's going to be left when they come in, because I know the guy in front of me and it's not mine. I'm moving you out of the way.
No doubt.
And the media guys, they all want to win and go home to their magazine or their publisher and say, hey, we won. Let's hit this in the press. We did this, we did that. So
it'll be a true testament to the Ace, that's for sure. Yep. The Ace basically is like a side-by-side machine. Wow, what's going on with these guys? Oh, we're stuck on the hill.
Yep, and here they are. We talked about earlier, right? They're jumping out there to help so they don't roll back down the hill or flip back down.
So it's getting a little more difficult. But what I was saying about the Polaris Aces, they're like
that guy's got a skirt on, Rodney.
He does. He's got his pink tutu. He's got his fairy wings on also. That's cute. Well, that's good. I mean, breast cancer awareness, I love to see it. Tonight the kids are going to get a chance to do some trick-or-treating. It's Halloween just around the corner also. I mean, this affair here at Crawfordsville, Indiana, it's not just a race. It's an event. It is a happening. You name it, man. I mean, whatever you can, it's a tradition. It's simply a tradition.
Yeah, Ronnie, everybody brings out their pumpkins and paints them pink, and everybody's got the pink on. It's definitely a great thing here in Crawfordsville. And, it didn't start out that way, and then all of a sudden we said, hey, let's do it 1 year, and now everybody's got their backgrounds in pink, and everybody's stepped up. It's a really cool thing.
It is. I do want to finish about these Aces, though. The Ace is like an ATV with a steering wheel and a roll cage. It's kind of the hybrid of a side-by-side and an ATV, a four-wheeler, if you will. So pretty neat and interesting stuff. Maybe we'll get some highlights on for the UTV show coming up here in a little bit. Right now, though, we are 11 minutes and 59 seconds is what they're saying. Less than 12, an hour and 45 minutes nearly in this battle of the XC1 Pro class in the XC2 Pro Am class. Again, we feel that we may see this one already decided, as Goings having those problems after leading not only the class but the overall there early on in the race. May have the nerves may have just gotten to him. He was pushing himself so hard that took himself right out of the race. Marty Christopherson still running third in that class. Ryland Johnson, Nathan Walpe rounding out the fourth and fifth place spots. Fowler, Borich, McGill, McClure, and Neal. Bryson Neal up to fifth place now. I'm looking to see if he's going to. He's a minute and 12 seconds behind McClure, who's a minute and 42 seconds behind McGill. McGill 31 seconds, a little over 30 seconds behind the battle of Fowler and Borich when they checked in last time around. 11 minutes or so is what we're looking at to the conclusion of this round of racing here in Indiana. As far as the overall is concerned, Cole Richardson runs fourth overall. Marshall Goings is sixth overall. Then as far as our top amateur is concerned, we don't see anyone in the top 20 as far as amateur classes are concerned, but Cody Collier is looking at taking top amateurs. So he's got one of those You question my abilities? I got top amateur. Am I ready for the XC? But you don't know that. You know, there is a process you got to go through in order to get in that position. There goes one of the aces right there in front of the Race Day Studios, as a matter of fact. But anyway, man, what a ride for Cody Collier. I got to say, hats off to that young man. He has certainly put together a good race, but he's only got 1.4 second lead over Greg Covert now. So that one's going to be a heated one, to say the least. Greg had the advantage with about a minute and something faster lap time. So I think that Cody might have had the wheels fall off on him on lap 2 out there a few minutes ago to tighten things up out there. So if he gets it back rolling in the fourth lap, it'll be pretty exciting to see if he can hang on to those top amateur honors. But right now, again, we wait with bated breath. Still no signs, no indications of anything changing, anything taking place. We have waited to hear. We've got a radio update, or Borich has made the pass, or this happened when Borich tried to make the pass on Fowler, but we have heard nothing. We are basically in the dark. And is it good? Is it bad? It's certainly full of anticipation at this moment as we watch Amsoil Alley right now. Went by the 7-mile marker. Wow, that still puts us somewhere just around the 10-minute mark before we'll see him coming in there, Fred. 7-mile marker, a lot of things going there. Walker Fowler was still leading Chris Borich. They were still nose to tail, and McGill was still plus 30 seconds off the pace of the front 2 riders.
Yeah, Ronnie, the front guys are definitely putting the hammer down. I mean, I feel like the pit crew right now. I don't know what's going on. Usually we have updates, and it's amazing that, you know, we don't. It's the biggest race of the year, and these guys are going at it. So where everybody's starting, even more and more people are coming towards the finish line here over here to Pro Row, because everybody wants to be the first one to say, hey, or tweet out, hey, this guy's winning, that guy's winning.
That's right, and I'm going to the radio. Barry Hawk, if you got a copy, this is Rodney. We're on RacerTV.com and GNCCLive, and Jeff Russell also, you can chime in on this one as well. Just curious on what's going on, man. We've been in the dark for the last little bit. Last time we saw it, Walker and Chris were nose to tail.
Yeah, Rodney, actually I just saw those guys about the 7.5, and Walker had a small gap of about 3 seconds over Chris Borich, but they were still charging. You know, as you know, everything's on the line right here, so I'll yell back at you a bit. I'm out in the big cornfield. Actually, I think I see him coming right now. Take care. It was in the shot.
Wow, so we're about ready to get the play-by-play here coming in just a second from Barry Hawk. We'll be waiting with bated breath on this one. So Walker, a little bit of a gap. Barry, while you got a second there, maybe you can tell us, you've watched these guys race like this nose to tail all year long and in different circumstances and situations. Are you noticing anything different, anything more intense, sense of urgency from either of these guys?
Yeah, it looks like Chris, actually I just saw them, and Chris is all over Walker. Looks like he's trying to pressure him into a mistake, but I think if Walker races the track, that's what Walker needs to do, and Chris needs to keep the pressure on to try and force Walker into a mistake. I've been there, and I've been on both sides of that, so it's coming down to it, and it's definitely a barn burner.
Hey, buddy, does it bring back any memories from 1993 championship for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that was the last time was 93 whenever it came down to the last race, and myself and Bob Sloan were going to the Ironman. We're going back and forth all day, and I end up coming out on top. So definitely brings back some old memories.
Thanks a lot for those updates, Barry. And if you got anything to pass along, be sure and update us as we continue to wait for any and all updates that they may have to pass along to us about this, Fred. I'm going to be kind of tied to the radio at the same time as I am trying to watch the TV screen and the computer monitor. 6 minutes, a little over 6 minutes, maybe closer to 7. Uh-oh, hey, go ahead. We just got an update. I just heard something. Go ahead, checkpoint update.
Jason Hooper, I was just out here. It's like the 8.5, the field section right behind the starting line, and it was Chris Borich out front.
Wow, so we've got to change 10-4 now. Wow, and now we're watching on TV, and now Walker Fowler is back in second, or back in first. 10-4, guys, we just saw him over there at Twin Hills, and it looks like it.
Ironman Hill.
Oh, okay, that's Ironman Hill. That's.
And it was Walker Fowler out in the lead with Borich behind him.
Yeah, so, okay, I got a little excited there for just a moment. Didn't know what was going on there, but that was recorded from a little bit ago. Ironman Hill when Walker was still up front. Thanks again for your update there, Jason Hooper. Jason Hooper from NBC Sports Racer TV crew giving us the update on what's taking place out there. Walker Fowler now in the number 2 spot behind Chris Borich, and we've never seen Walker Fowler pass Chris Borich on the last lap to make the pass. Do we see that happen here today? Is it possible, or is the patented last lap move going to be the signature for the ending of this championship in 2014?
Man, I think if Walker Fowler isn't second like that, he's going to give it everything he's got, and he'll end up on his lid before he lets it just walk away from it. I mean, he's going to give it everything he's got. No doubt about that.
No doubt about that. We are now within 5 minutes. About 5 minutes before we expect to see this one. And you know what? I think we might be just under the 2-hour mark. About 2 minutes or so instead of actually going long. I miscalculated that there a few minutes ago. So we're going to be right at that 2 hour.
Fowler's back in the lead.
Fowler's back in the lead. Now we're going to listen for these of you folks listening back home. We're going to hear some different radio chatter. We'll hear some updates and hear a lot of different radio chatter. But just to let you know, this is raw and this is what's going on right now. So just be listening and waiting with bated breath as we are right now to find out what's going on. Walker Fowler back out front of Chris Borich. We had the report that we had a change in the lead when Borich had gotten around, and I said that we don't really have a lot of reports of Walker going around Chris, but man, did maybe Chris get out front and make a mistake too, because maybe he got a little bit nervous.
Oh yeah, Rodney, anything's possible right now. I mean, these guys are just going at it. It could have caught a lapper. Lapper could have held him up a second, and you know, Walker went through the trees and passed him. I mean, this is racing. This is what we want to see.
There goes some right. Okay, that's some earlier footage, or actually that's a different class. It looked like Walker Fowler there for a second, weaving through some lap traffic on our video monitors, but we should be closer to the finish line as we're within somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3 to 4 minutes now. And here they come down through the no, that wasn't the pro. I thought they were coming through the pro pits, and they must be coming through the pro pits here pretty soon, because we've got a lot of GNCC crew that is in a. Here they are.
So it looks like a Yamaha guy clapping right there.
Yeah.
So there's Walker Fowler.
Uh-oh.
And he's got a little bit of a lead, too.
Uh-oh. Do we see the dawning of a new era in GNCC as he nearly high-fives every fan along Pro Row? Walker Fowler, my friends, is riding and racing to history here today as he is about to stop Chris Borich, the winningest GNCC rider of all time in the history books. With only 5 national championships, Walker Fowler could be our new champion. We have only a couple of miles left to go and a couple of minutes before we'll know for sure. All attention now turning to the finish line region. We see a wave of people. Look at that. That is amazing. The crowd up and down. Vendors
over to the finish line.
Can you imagine? I can imagine what these race fans are feeling right now. Just probably exactly what we're feeling right now, Fred Andrews, the anticipation of all of this. Could we see a change in the guard in GNCC ATV racing? It certainly looks like that's what we're on the path to right now, but the checkers have not flown yet. We cannot call this race over because it isn't. And I can tell you, you said that Walker Fowler would end up on his lid or go for the win. I think that Chris Borich is probably same scenario, same situation right now. And amazingly, it's about to all unfold before our very eyes. The things that we talked about, the things that we speculated about, the things that some people maybe only dreamed about are about to come true before our very eyes.
You know, Rodney, Walker Fowler came through the pro pit area, past his pit crew. He was waving his arms. He was excited. So he's not worried about Chris Borich
He
at all.
is not
he's
worried.
Looking forward. He's looking for that checkered flag.
You know, I think when Chris,
no nerves there.
When he rounded that turn and saw that crowd of people, he felt like a champion. You know, he knew he had that championship locked up. And right now, look at the crowd that's gathered down around there right now. Watch that crowd down there at the finish line region itself as we're watching the RacerTV monitors right now looking for.
It looks like all they have left is a moto track, right?
Yeah, pretty much a moto track and right to the finish line itself. So we wait.
And I believe that's what we're going to be seeing these guys come around here in just a moment as everybody is heading over. Look at that. I mean, they're still migrating and pilgrimaging all the way over to the finish line right now. Jen Kenyon out and about. She's standing by there wanting to get a word with the new champion for 2014, whoever that may be, because it's going to be an exciting finale. And that is Amsoil Ironman waiting the new champion, whether it be a brand new champion or an old new champion, whatever the case may be. 2014 will have a champion here in just a few moments as we see the dust curling up. And there it is here.
Looks like they're side by side.
Look at them go, Walker Fowler and Chris Borich side by side as they round the motocross track right now. They are still side by side. Where's my wireless mic? I can't even see what's going on. I'm trying to walk outside the studio right now. We seen Walker Fowler. It's Chris Borich out front now, folks.
He just passed Walker Fowler.
And Walker Fowler now sees it all slip away. What looked like a championship only a few moments ago is about to slip out of his fingers, and Chris Borich does it. Chris Borich captures championship number 6. Awesome. Number 6 for Chris Borich. Number 6 for Chris Borich as he does it in the final turn, heading to the championship here at the Ironman, and Walker Fowler with both arms raised is as excited as anybody. Yeah. Let's head down to the finish line where Jen Kenyon stands by right now.
That's right, guys. We're actually standing in the finish line. They just crossed the checkered flag. The first thing these two guys did was give each other a handshake and a hug. They both just rode their hearts out. We all saw it right here on RacerTV.com, you guys. There are so many people down here. I've never seen so many people run towards the finish line ever in my life. We're following these guys right now. We're going to try first word with Chris Borich. He's got a lot of people surrounding him. We're just going to go in right now. There's a lot of emotion going on underneath this tent right now. We're going to jump in right now. Chris, I know there's a lot of emotion, a lot of things going on right now. Tell us how you're feeling after that crazy, crazy battle.
Wow, it was a tough battle. Played really well. Got flipped off in the woods there. I got by him. Ended up bottomed in a mud hole past me. I got stuck in a couple lappers. I was able to run him back down a little bit. Moto track, he messed up just a little bit. I had a drive on him, past him there, and then just set him up in the lower corner there. Came home with the win.
Talk about how you're feeling right now. It's been an up and down season. This struggle for you. To finally just cross that finish line and get that 6th championship.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, he gave me one heck of a battle. Hats off to him. It was good, clean racing the whole time. I don't know what to say. I mean, I just had fun battling him. He's a good rider, clean rider, and it was fun.
All right, well, congratulations, champ. Guys, Chris Borich does it once again, his 6th title. Heck of a race, Ronnie. We're going to send it back up to you. We'll get these guys ready to go for the podium.
Wow, that right there. Thanks, Jen Kenyon.
That's awesome.
That's camaraderie. I mean, Walker is as happy for Chris right now as he is. I mean, you would think he would be sad right now. A lot of folks would be looking so much different, but Walker Fowler is ecstatic right now. He was just in the battle of a lifetime right there.
Rodney, he gave it everything he had. He left nothing on the table. They had a good, clean race. You know, it's who won and won. If Walker's happy, he's there to try to championship. Did you think it would come down to the end of the year with him being tied for the championship? No, so he's just happy.
He's just happy to be here. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to head down to the podium. We'll get words with, again, with Chris Borich, also Walker Fowler, and our 3rd place finisher. Oh, we do have a 3rd place finisher too, right? Adam McGill comes across the line in 3rd. We'll be back with more GNCC Live on RacerTV right after this. In the house, we got something for you. And we got something for you. Welcome back to RacerTV.com's GNCC Live as we just witnessed the historical finish of this 20 years of GNCC racing at the Ironman. And, of course, this 2014 championship battle. Chris Borich just capped off his 6th championship, his 7th Ironman win. Yet again becoming and holding yet another record and setting another record. Win number 73 for the GNCC champ. It only continues to grow more and more and more. And here comes our 2nd and 3rd place finishers, I think, here soon in the XC2 class.
Thank you, Fred. XC1 class looking, wow, look at this. Only 5 riders have checked in so far in the XC1 Pro class for their 4th lap complete. Borich, Fowler, McGill, McClure, and Neal. That goes to show you what kind of a pace these guys were setting. Amazing what we've seen there. Again, in the overall, it was Cole Richardson 4th. And we're watching to see whether or not Cody Collier will be able to take top amateur honors today after his first ride in this afternoon class. He was a morning class racer and actually the 201 number plate holder from last year. He's 24th overall, had a 1.4 second lead over Greg Covert heading into the final lap. And this may be them battling it down to the, no, this has got to be more of our XC1 guys battling it out here as they make their way in. We'll see exactly who that is as they scan the finish line. That's actually Eric Holofield trying to work on Kevin Yoho. Yoho, though, not knowing exactly what's going on, put the hammer down. He held on to 6th place in the XC1 Pro class, 7th place overall. As we look at this big, big crowd, give them a try, give them a big cheer there, Ironman fans, and let them know that you're here. You're on RacerTV.com. Look at that sea of people all here to watch what just unfolded just a few moments ago with that battle with Chris Borich and Walker Fowler. Amazing. We were already set to flip the switch on a new era of GNCC, but Chris Borich says, hold up, I've got one more last-ditch effort, one more thing to say about this whole thing, and he said it as well and with as big as explicitive, I think, as anybody could ever say. Last lap, last turns into the checker flag like that. Amazing. You couldn't have written it any better. You could not have choreographed a race any better than what we witnessed there just a few moments ago, and it all came through the God-given talents of those great riders in this Grand National Cross Country Championship season. And as Jason Wygant and I have always alluded to for so many years, my friends, that's what GNCC racing is all about. Those kind of battles, that kind of heart, that kind of determination, and that kind of show that is put forth as we await the top riders over to the podium area right now. I'm telling you, I'm looking, and more people continue to make their way to the podium right now. They are continuing to file in, and the sea of people only gets bigger and bigger and bigger as we continue to talk right now, as everyone anticipates this 6th championship celebration. And I gotta say, as many times as I've watched Chris Borich win a championship, I've never seen a smile on his face quite as big as what we just saw on Chris Borich's face. I've never seen the joy, the excitement, the happiness, the satisfaction of what we just witnessed, and now the 6-time GNCC champion's face and eyes and smile. That's what we saw there just only moments ago. That is a feeling that I'm sure will be hard to equal, and I'm sure that if we can see this come down to something this exciting in the years, in the coming years, we will certainly be very, very blessed. It doesn't come but every couple of decades or so, or will it? Will we see the same thing next year? And you got to throw into the account that we got a lot of fast young guns moving up through the ranks, and will be in the XC1 Pro class next year. And not only will Walker Fowler be there to contend with Chris Borich, but there will also be some new blood out there and some seasoned veterans like, of course, Adam McGill. I expect some big things out of him, as well as several others. Twitter contest winner goes to Connors193. He is the one that tweeted his podium predictions to and hashtag them GNCCLive. So congratulations. And he got them correct, as a matter of fact, believe it or not. He wanted Borich, Fowler, and McGill to take it. And we'll send you an email, Connor, and we'll get all the details and information that we need to get from you. Ladies and gentlemen, as we turn our attention down to the podium, up onto the podium, let's put our hands together. Walker Fowler making his way up, but how about it for this guy standing in the center of the box? His 6th championship, Chris Borich.
That's right, folks. Let's give these guys a big round of applause. Get nice and loud. We've got our 6-time national champion, Walker Fowler, in 2nd place, and we have Adam McGill, the 521, in 3rd place. Before we get things going, guys, Here today, I want to welcome MX Sports Pro Racing Director, Mr. Roy Jansen, to present the #1 plate.
Well, thank you. Chris, what a fantastic year. Again, it is absolutely on behalf of Amsoil GNCC, on behalf of Suzuki, on behalf of Racer Productions, and all of these fantastic ATV competition community. Congratulations on another #1 plate, another championship. What a great job. Thank you. Good job.
All right, folks, we're going to start things off with our 3rd place finisher, Adam McGill. He's getting a wardrobe change over here. He put in one heck of a day here, one heck of a 2014 season. So let's hear it for West Virginia's Adam McGill. All right, Adam, you kick things off in a big way. You grabbed that whole shot once again, courtesy of All Balls Racing. Another $250 got you out front. Talk about your race a little bit.
Yeah, we got out front. Wayne got around me on the motor track. I don't know if he let me around. Before we got into the woods, I got around him, just run up front. Walker and Borich was right behind me. I think there was 1 or 2 bikes behind. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to run up front up here, run my pace. If they catch me, that's fine. So I just, pulled over, let Walker go, jump back out. It wasn't, a second later there, Chris was. I pulled over and let him go, and I'm like, no matter if I won today or got 3rd, I'm still getting 3rd for the year. So let them guys battle it out. I don't want to be the guy in their way. So you know what? Hats off to them. They run a good race. I run with them for a while, but, I'm just, thank God it's over. I'm done.
Hey, you know what's pretty cool, though? You are the only guy besides those 2 to get a win here in the XC1 class this year, so that you're right up here with this elite crew.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want some more. This program we've got together, this McGill Mafia, and all you fans out there, I see them shirts out there everywhere. You guys kick ass, and I mean, if it wasn't for you guys helping me put the program together like this, your support, you guys out there cheering me on, throwing beer at me, doing whatever you guys do out there, having a hell of a time, I wouldn't even be doing this, so thank you guys very much for another awesome year. Thanks for helping me do what I love to do. I really appreciate it, guys.
All right, Adam. That's right. Always a fan favorite, the McGill Mafia. Who else would you like to thank for getting up here one last time here in 2014?
Definitely my dad. We've had one heck of a year. It's he puts in a lot of hours. He works 60, 70 hours a week at his regular job, and then, he comes home, works on this thing, and gets it finished for me. My family, my mom, both my sister, my fiance Haley, we're looking into, possibly starting a little mafia family ourselves. So, I have my title sponsor, RacingPowersports.com, CST Tires, you guys seen, hooked up awesome off the start line today. PoweredMX.com for all your parts. Winter Circle Design, we have Blingstar, UPP, QuadTech, Baldwin Motors. You guys can tell there's no slouch for power in this monster. So, Streamline to woe this baby. Lone Star DC Pro Components. What can I say? Me and Walker's up here all the time with these things. 2 different bikes. Amazing, amazing stuff. Give them a call. See what they can do for you. Custom access shocks, no issues out there all day. Fast Company bars, Hyper wheels, FMF pipes, Scott, JT, Works Connection, DeRisi Racing, Wiseco, Tire Blocks is a new one out, guys. I highly recommend giving them guys a look. Great product, great company, and they're coming in pretty hard. Twin Air, Outerwears, IMS, ODI, Throttle Out, Liat, JT, or Get It Performance. We have All Balls, and then we have Boysen, RJR, the Honda Shop, and all you fans, guys. One more year's in the books, and hopefully next year we'll have that #1 plate from a Suzuki.
All right, we'll be looking for you there. Adam McGill, let's hear it one more time. And let's hear it for this guy who put up one heck of a season in 2014. Walker Fowler did things here this season that we have not seen in over a decade. Let's hear it for this guy, man. What an epic season for Walker Fowler. Walker, this season ended in an amazing way. It didn't quite, you didn't cap it off with that championship, but what does it mean to you to have brought it to this race here, which hasn't happened in 20 years?
I'm only 21 years old, so I think that says something. You know what? I am bummed, but man, was that cool. That was so badass, and I can't get over, I just can't thank Chris enough for, for letting me be up there and, for racing me clean the whole time. And, man, that last lap, we really didn't do too much swapping back and forth at the beginning. I just kind of was doing my thing, and then it was that last lap. It was like, man, this is going to be cutthroat. this is gonna be his. You know, I was hoping by then to have tried to drop him, but you know what? He's the 6-time champ now for a reason. And you know, when he had to come in the clutch, he got it done. But wow, that last lap! If we could have those little drone things following us around, everyone would have goosebumps, because the amount of times that we were rubbing and you know, we were bouncing off each other, but it wasn't anything out of control. It was just like, it was controlled chaos. And man, it was just so cool. You know, there were so many times like, it was just like, man, you know, I can get away from him, and I'd put a couple seconds on him, and he'd be right there, and then a lapper tangles up, and he'd get around me, and then I got back around him. I hit a tree with the rear tire, bent the living heck out of my axle. The same thing, 4th gear tapped, just cartwheeled her down the trail. Get up, I actually pulled Chris, didn't even know it. Get up, and Chris is coming. I'll, you know, gotta try to, you know, dodge him so I don't get run over. Hook the tether back up, get back on the quad, go 2 straightaways, and he's in with lappers. I get back around him. I hit the creek wide open. There was a way around the mud. He bonsais through it and passes me back. We hit each other going up the hill, side by side in the fields. I get him going FMF PowerPoint. Passed him back there, and you know what? I put a little bit of time on him, and he came back for one last time on that jump. And I'm gonna have to sit back there and look at it a couple more times. But you know, that it doesn't get any better than that. And if I'm going to get beat by somebody, you know what, today, you know, I'm good with it. And he, like I said, he earned it. He's a heck of a competitor. Great guy, you know, the same thing. I got into him there at the end. It was just like, I don't know if I'm going to get him. And he hit the brakes as soon as we hit, and I got into him. But, you know, to shake hands, hug it off, and, you know, the families love each other. And just the fans were incredible. I've never seen this many people at a race just ever. Not only, I've never seen this many people at a podium for a pro national motocross race, and that's actually the facility we're at. But you know what? Ironman's been here for 20 years, and it's going to be here for 20 more, and hopefully y'all can come back and we can do it again.
All right, Walker, just before we go, that's right, you guys are awesome fans here in Indiana. The 2014 season, it was a progression. The first half of the season, you didn't get the wins, and then they just started coming. What are you going to take from this season to go into 2015 and hopefully start your charge at this championship reign?
You know, it could be next year. It could be 10 years. You never know. I'm just, you know, you have to be in a position to win at all times. And, you know, earlier in the year, we weren't doing that. And, you know, same thing. When I had to do what I had to do, I did it. And we didn't get it done today, but, you know, whether it's next year or the year after, you know, Lord willing, you know, staying healthy and safe, I'm going to come back as many years as I can. You know, this is my love. This is my passion. You know, we do it for fun, and I've been having fun lately, and today it doesn't get any more fun than that. And like I said, I am bummed I got beat, but man, was that freaking cool. It was so cool. So, you guys, thanks, fans. You're the best. That was so cool.
Man, I know it was cool for all of us. Who else would you like to thank, Walker, for this 2014 season and getting up here one more time?
Like I said, just want to give all the glory to God and just thank Him so much for. That's the fastest I've ever gone for 2 hours in my entire life. And you know, there was a lot of times where we should have not been, you know, getting back up on our four-wheelers or missed something, but you know what we did, and just like I said, just thank the good Lord and Chuck for coming over and praying with us. Definitely got to thank my mom and dad. They're just two of the best people I've ever, you know, been around, and they've taught me so much and, you know, how to handle this situation, and I just can't thank them enough for, you know, allowing me the opportunity growing up to do this and call it my profession, and it's so awesome. So Mom and Dad, thank you so much. I love you both. My mechanic, Mark Nautman's like a brother to me. He's put in so much work in the last 2 years, and we've never really had a mechanical failure that was his fault. You know, it was always typically my fault doing something dumb. Same thing. I'm learning. He's learning. I'd love to bring him a championship here soon, and I know he wants one too, so we're going to stay hungry. Definitely want to thank the whole NFAB and Pro Yamaha team. Donnie Luce is here. Randy Hawkins is here. You guys are the best. Thank you again for the opportunity and believing in me. And, you know, hopefully we can keep coming back year after year on the same stuff. I don't want to change anything, and this machine's just absolutely incredible. I definitely want to thank Toby Reed from Moto Experts and the whole crew at Moto Experts. This bike, you know, these Suzukis are fast, but I never got downright outpowered, and that says something. Definitely want to thank Lone Star, Heath and Dan, and all the guys at Lone Star, Maxxis Tires. Thank you so much. That was just incredible for sure. These tires are just unreal. Hill International Trucks is a company from home, so thanks, guys. I know you're watching if you're not here. Fly Racing, the guys at Fly keep me looking good all the time, so thank you, guys. Fox Suspension, you know, 1 and 2 in the championship chase are on Fox Suspension again, and that's just the same thing. That says what the product does. Definitely got to thank Larry Mills at DP Brakes. Tire balls, no flats today. As hard as we're pushing, you know, thank goodness, because we don't have time to think about flats. Definitely everyone at Hyper is just the same thing. Awesome company. Definitely want to thank Vortex Ignitions, outerwears, Precision Stabilizers, Moto Seat. This thing is covered in mud, and I wasn't slipping around all day. Colt Brinkerhoff and the whole Flex Handlebar Fastco company. Anti-gravity batteries, Cycra, all the guys at Leat. Will never not wear a neck brace. You know, regardless of what studies and people say, you're better off with than without. And same thing to say you might break a collarbone or a 1 in a million chance it does kill you. There's that other 999,000 times where it's going to save you. So kids, parents, the neck brace is made for a reason. So believe me, wear them. Definitely want to thank Wiseco, Fuel Customs, Waynesburg, Yamaha, IMS, CV4, G4 Graphics. Definitely want to thank Worst Connection, DID, Dragon Racing Fuels, D4 Power Sports, Pro Taper, and again, you fans are awesome. Really appreciate it. My buddies from back home, Luke, Jeff, Chase, Bryce, Shane, my beautiful girlfriend, just for putting up with me. I know I've been kind of a bear lately. There's just been a lot of stress, and she's under a lot of stress tomorrow too, so just want to wish her good luck. And again, the fans, thank you so much. That was incredible, and thank you for being a part of it. And again, Chris, thank you for being a true champion.
All right, that's a class act right there. Walker Fowler. Oh, we already have this awesome Hammer of Thor. He's the Ironman champion here today. He's the 2014 6-time GNCC national champion. Let's hear it for Chris Borich. You know, Chris, you've got a lot of championships, but I have to ask, have you ever had one this stressful come down to the very final corners of the last round?
No, definitely not. Usually we have 2 races to go out and have fun and just play around with these guys and have a good time. But hats off to Walker. I mean, his whole crew has worked really hard, and they definitely put the pressure on towards the end there. And like he said, he knew what he needed to do. I knew what I needed to do, and it was just, I mean, he explained it all. It was just good, clean, fun racing, and yeah, me and him just got out front and just battled it out. I mean, Adam was up in there, and if anybody would mess up, he'd just pull over and tag in behind us. That was awesome for him to do that for us. I mean, he knew we were in pretty much a dogfight, and he didn't want to get in the middle of it, so he appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, it was a great time. I mean, there's so many people out there and fans just cheering you on, and that's what, like Walker was saying, that's what gave us the energy just to keep pushing that 2 hours.
Take us through that last lap. We saw you guys up in the air, knocking into each other. Just take us through your end of it. It was so crazy from our standpoint.
Yeah, he got me a little bit, and he made a good line choice towards the end there, and I knew the regular spot, and I went that way. He got me about probably 5 seconds. I think he ended up getting with a lapper, closed it back in, and I knew I just had to be on his rear wheels coming into there. Kind of thought it was over, but I just kept putting my head down and hammered down, and the lap prior to the white flag, I ended up doing the exact same thing he did. Thought I was going cartwheel and just came down, G'd out, and it hucked me. And I knew where it was, and I seen he was going for it, and I was already on the outside wailing it. He framed out, kicked him a little sideways, and I just kept it pinned and doubled up the triple, and then just wailed around the outside. I thought I threw it away on the outside. The bike came around on me. I had to regroup. He got right beside me, and I had the inside down there, and we just came together down at the bottom, and it was just a drag race from there to the next corner, and I knew since I was just ahead of him that little bit, I knew it was pretty much in hand. So it was like he said, it was just an awesome battle the whole day. I mean, we just got in, jockeyed our positions, got where we needed to be, and raced our own race.
You know, it's been since round 6 since you've gotten a win here. I know we remind you of this round after round, but it's a different thing than we've seen from Chris Borich in the past. Does this feel any different? Does this have any extra emotion? It's been somewhat of a struggle for you in the second half of the season. Do you feel any bit of relief to have that #1 plate in your hands?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's definitely there was three long weeks there when we were just sitting there. I mean, just tied for points, can't do nothing about it until this race. And I can't thank my buddies Steve and Handy and just my mechanic Glenn, just everybody that's a part of it. And my buddy Paul from Wales, he came over. We were training pretty hard. I mean, like I said, I was on that bike pretty much every day for at least an hour, and just wanted it bad. I knew I was in shape, but I just wanted to get back on the bike and just keep hammering, and that's when I started having fun. I knew what I needed to do, and those guys pushed me. I mean, I don't like riding by myself, and they came up and like, let's go, let's ride. So I was, all right, let's do it. And Andrew DeLong, I mean, I can't thank him enough. He came up one day and we ripped, and hats off to him for his championship. And he's like, it's your turn, big boy. So I was like, got to get her done. So, but yeah, it was a good 3 weeks, and Thad glad to come away with the win here and get this championship.
All right, well, who else would you like to thank for getting this one here, #6 under your belt?
Definitely my mom and my dad. Without them, obviously, I wouldn't be up here doing what we did. My fiance, Dawn, she's been a big supporter of my program and just telling me to calm down, relax, do your thing, you know what you need to do. So my mechanic, Glenn, he's kind of behind the scenes. He was able to come out to this race and just see how big this turnout is. So hats off to him. My old mechanic, John, can't thank him enough. He came in for a couple weeks and just came and hung out and helped me out a little bit as well, just checking over the bike. Just it's always good to have a second set of eyes on the bike, and can't thank him enough. I mean, he helped me with, I believe it's 4 championships, and then he just had to go home and do his own thing. So yeah, we're good friends, and can't thank him enough. I mean, all my buddies, they've been behind me. They knew what I needed to do, and they pushed me to do it. So thank you. The Hunter family, the McCormick family, just hunters, the Hunter Hearts, they were out there cheering me on. Greatly appreciate that. Maxxis Tires, of course. I mean, just awesome traction wherever I wanted to point this thing, it went. Precision Stabilizer, MSR Gear, Yield Cycle Barn, Brian McCormick. He's the Suzuki guy, and great guy, great family. Can't thank them enough, and I probably wouldn't be up here without them being able to do the parts deal and stuff they do for me. So, Acerbis, Suzuki, Fox Shocks were amazing. Hyper Wheels, Hinton, Wiseco, CV4, NRG Controls, DID Chains, Pro Taper, ATV Innovations, Shoei, Quad Tech, Amsoil, Phenomenal Oil. I got on board with those guys last year, and just motor's been holding up awesome. Clutches, can't thank those guys enough. Scott Goggles, Clear Vision, all day. They hooked me up with a set of sick breast cancer awareness goggles, and they worked awesome. Thanks, John. Twin Air, Walsh Racing. Walsh was able to make it up here, and his stuff is phenomenal. I mean, bolts right on, dial it right in, bulletproof as well. Can't thank him enough. Great guy for being able to make it up here and watch us do what we needed to do. IQ, Acerbis, Excelodyne, DP Brakes, HMF, OIP, Tire Balls, G4 Graphics, and just all you fans out there. Greatly appreciate it.
All right, let's hear it. He is your 2014 national champion. It's Chris Borich. Now let's get up front, guys, with your cool trophies. Let's get some photo ops here. And then, of course, everybody's favorite part, the champagne celebration. I'll go ahead and let Rodney chime in when it's time for that. But, guys, get your trophies front and center. Be careful. This Hammer of Thor is a 2-piece deal here. Adam McGill is the stand-in 2014 champion, of course.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 finishers here at the Ironman GNCC, and your newly crowned 6-time GNCC champion up there in the center, Chris Borich, and of course the big Iron Hammer. I love that. That is so awesome. And now the
part of the program that kind of puts the seal on the whole deal for these guys, you know, as we always like to say. And GNCC Racing, to the victor goes the spoils, and as always, the spoils in GNCC is none other than this right here, my friends. It is, of course, the sweet, sweet spray of champagne. And there that sweet, sweet spray goes now. Give it up for him one more time, Ironman crowd. These guys laid it all on the line, not only today, but all season long. A championship battle that all three can be extremely proud of. There is no doubt about it. And the 1, 2, and 3 riders right here on the podium here today. And we're going to be getting some championship photos with these guys here in just a moment. A little bit of swag being tossed out. We'll be checking in with our Pro Am XC2, the XC2 Pro Am class here in just a moment as well. And crowning our champion in that one as some really cool things taking place. The XC1 and XC2 class nearly mirroring each other as far as the championship points race coming into this round of racing. And at the end of it all, we have Cole Richardson taking the championship in that class. And right now we've got thousands of fans, it looks like, down here at the Ironman podium right now, receiving some of that great swag that's being thrown out and some great memorabilia that for certain will hold a lifetime of memories for them every time that they see it, of course. And congratulations to Chris Borich and his family, of course, for another championship title. 73 wins, the most wins of any GNCC racer of all times. And certainly a man to be reckoned with. Don't count him out, my friends, because that's only when he gets stronger and when he gets meaner. It becomes more of a challenge. Walker Fowler gives Chris Borich a Yamaha toboggan. You already got yours right there. So lots of fun going on down there right now. And I got to say, let's take a look at the way overalls and class championships broke down. All right, we got a lost white pug also for you guys here at the racetrack. If you happen to find that, bring that over to Dunlop. This guy just came up. He looks all panicked right now. Must be a baby. So if you see a lost white pug, help this guy out. Head over to Dunlop Tires. Right now, though, we take a look at this, the overall standings. Chris Borich, Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, Cole Richardson, your XC2 Pro Am winner, took 4th. Jared McClure in the XC1 Pro class, he took 5th overall. Bryson Neal took 6th. Marshall Goings took 7th place overall, 2nd in the XC2 Pro Am. Kevin Yoho was 8th overall. 9th overall, Jay Shadron. And get this, 10th overall, 8th in class. How about it for big Chad Weenan, who's never raced a GNCC in his life, my friends, and how about it for that 3-time Mountain Dew ATV National Motocross Champion. Glad to have him here today and glad to see that he was able to do so well as we continue the celebrations. This should be wrapping up, but we're going to be bringing our XC2 guys up here. So podium and crowd, do not go anywhere. Stick around for the upcoming podium celebrations as we've got more of it to come. Jen Kenyon getting the podium reset right now as we see Rick Proctor from the Vigilant Vet program making his way up onto the podium right now to help clear things out there, it looks like. And actually, Jen, if you got a chance, talk with Rick there about the Vigilant Vet. And, of course, these guys, great assets to the GNCC racing community. Not only that, but as well a great asset to those returning men and women from the armed services and from war that suffer from PTSD. And Jen Kenyon, go ahead and take it away.
That's right, Rodney. We actually have some special things taking place here. It is October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A lot of our GNCC racers and teams and families are doing a lot of great things for different folks. So, Rick, tell us a little bit about what you guys have going on.
Vigilant Vet Racing got together with McGill Mafia. Clara McGill was behind this. She's just she's an angel. She does so much for the community and gives back. We've got a little girl living in the Carolinas who's battling stage 4 cancer. Her name's Ashley Norris. And we wanted to raise some money to, we want to send her to go see a Disney show on ice and maybe help out with her brothers and sisters for Christmas, give them some Christmas money. So we're raffling off a couple big things today. We'll go ahead and draw. Okay.
All right, so we're going to draw. How many names are we going to draw?
We're going to draw 4.
We're going to draw 4 names. Some of these folks might be here at the race.
Yeah. First up's the Leatt neck brace.
All right, so we've got a Leatt neck brace. Adam McGill himself is going to come up and draw these names. The winner does not need to be present, but they are
Cliff Val. Cliff Val. Okay, I don't think he's here. Okay, the next one we have, what do we have next, guys? All right. The next one we have is a GoPro. And I will draw this one. Be Gary Tinder. Damn, nobody here. All right, next one we have, and like I said, guys, I really appreciate everybody helping us do this for this little girl. It was a great opportunity. You know, it was a great fun what we did, you know, with the Vigilant Vets, and also my mother and, you know, myself as well. You know, thank you guys very much for helping this girl's dream come true. Lion? Just Lion. Lion. Lyon. Okay, we got a phone number for that guy. And then, okay, and then last up is a mud plug we have here. Let me see what we got. Draw a winner that's here. I know. I just keep drawing till somebody's here. Estridge? Right Estridge. Hey, we got one! Hey, thank you guys very much. Thank you very much for helping us do this. You know, we was able to raise quite a bit of money to do this. I don't know the exact number, but we're all good. So I really appreciate this, guys. I'm going to get changed and hand it back over.
All right, folks, as we continue to get our XC1 guys off the podium, we're going to bring our XC2 Pro Am podium up. We've got another championship plate celebration, so don't go anywhere. But we also have 2 more winners from a fundraiser through the McGill Mafia and the Zukowski Motorsports folks. We do have an Adam McGill signature bumper. That's going to be Miss Kim Ricketts. Kim Ricketts, you are the winner of the Adam McGill bumper. You can go to the Zukowski Motorsports pits and pick that up. And also we have an Adam McGill jersey and pants signed. That's going to go to Vicky Mace. So Vicky Mace, you are the winner of that. If you want to go ahead and collect your prize at the Zukowski Motorsports pits over there in the side-by-side UTV pits. And we're going to go ahead and bring up our top 3 XC2 Pro Am riders. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring Marshall Going, 2nd place finisher. Oh, we need to get Walker Fowler off this podium first, guys. Walker, get down. Get off here. We're just kidding.
So as we come to the end of this ATV Championship and the podium presentations here in just a moment, we want to remind you folks, coming up in about an hour or so, we'll be back live with our side-by-side, the UTV Championship finale, where we have another championship sort of on the line there. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up in just a few moments, but going to head back down to the podium here in just a moment with Jen Kenyon, who's going to take us through the championship plate and awarding to, of course, our newly crowned XC2 Pro Am champion. You see him there making his way onto the podium, Cole Richardson now. Cole getting the hole shot earlier today, falling back, and looked like maybe it was all over for him in that respect at one point, but dug deep and was able to come back and take the championship win here at the Ironman GNCC. And of course, seal the deal on the XC2 Pro Am class titles. We head back down to the podium and Max's victory lane with Jen Kenyon.
That's all right, guys. As we're still rolling here on RacerTV.com, we're going to bring our MX Sports Pro Racing Director, Roy Jansen, back here to the center of the podium as he gives a special presentation to Cole Richardson.
Well, Cole, it is an honor. You had a near-perfect season. You started the year with a victory. You finished the year with a victory. Other than one DNF, which put you a little bit under the gun, you had a great season, and it is truly an honor to be able to present to you this #1 plate in honor of your XC2 championship. Congratulations.
Great job. Thanks, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
All right, folks, for those of you still here at the podium, stick around. For those of you watching us on RacerTV.com, we really appreciate you guys. Here's our 2014 XC2 Pro Am champ. And with that, we say goodbye, and that will end our 2014 Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series here on RacerTV.com. We'll see you guys next year in Florida. All right, but for those of you still here, Marty Christopherson, get that podium. 3rd place here in the XC2 Pro Am class. Join me here in the center of the podium.